Chapter 4602. Master Lei Hong's Law Clone. It can't be seen that it is a law clone at all. Among the few people, some people exclaimed in this way. Because, not to mention their half-step world venerables, even the avatars of the World Lord's laws are easy to see. Their eyes are dull and lifeless. However, they could see Lei Hong's legal avatar just now. Their eyes were bright, and they couldn't see anything strange. Moreover, with their cultivation base, even if they extend their spiritual consciousness, it may be difficult to detect the abnormality of the other party. It seems that stepping into the 7th level of Xian is really a qualitative change, said another. Lei Hong is a person from the Mingguang realm of the upper 3 realms. As a person from the myriad realms, no one from outside the realm has blood secret skills to rely on, but he has a law clone exclusive to people from the myriad realms. Of course, after the breakthrough, not only Duan Lingtian, but even Feng Qingyang knew about the qualitative change of the law clone. It was also at the beginning that they didn't investigate Lei Hong too much. They just collided with Lei Hong's consciousness and then retreated, so they didn't notice anything abnormal. However, after Lei Hong jumped out, Duan Lingtian vaguely guessed that he was the avatar of the law. A person who is eager to kill all the respected and saints in the world is naturally impossible to put himself in danger easily. He is sure to escape from the presence of 2 extremely powerful 7th-level existences. Even if Duan Lingtian is only an ordinary 7th-level Xian, Lei Hong may still be able to escape by joining forces with Feng Qingyang, but it will definitely require a considerable price. Later, Zhang Shan breathed a sigh of relief. Although he was also surprised that Lei Hong was just a clone of the law, the strength Lei Hong showed just now was enough to kill him easily. Thank you, Lord Duan Lingtian. Zhang San repeatedly thanked Duan Lingtian. No thanks. Duan Lingtian said calmly. You and World Master Xiao are friends, and you brought us here personally. If someone wants to touch you, I will naturally not stand by and watch. If you are killed by Lei Hong, where will my master and I face? The tone is indifferent, but the words are extraordinarily strong. At this time, there was a burst of laughter from a distance, but it was Meng Han Yukong who approached. Brother Duan Lingtian, Brother Feng Qingyang, we meet again. Fortunately, what Lei Hong came from was just a clone of the law. Otherwise today there must be no return. Meng Han came to Duan Lingtian and the 2 of them, and greeted them warmly. And what he said, besides himself, only Duan Lingtian, Feng Qingyang and Xiao Mubai knew what it meant. The meaning of Meng Han's words is nothing more than knowing Duan Lingtian's strength. Knowing that even if Lei Hong's deity comes in person, Duan Lingtian can keep him, or even kill him. However, Zhang Shan and the few people who had been watching for a while subconsciously thought that Meng Han and Duan Lingtian were friends, and were even willing to join forces with Duan Lingtian to deal with Lei Hong. I didn't expect that Master Meng Han from outside the world has such a good relationship with Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang. Is this normal? Haven't you heard that Mr. Meng Han was the first to enter the Tongtian Tower in the past, thanks to the blessings of these 2 adults? I heard that when Lord Duan Lingtian was young, he entered Bibo Tianfu behind Lord Meng Han, and now he is still a disciple of Bibo Tianfu. Fortunately, Master Lei Hong didn't come here, otherwise he might really die here. Several people were amazed, and Zhang Shan also felt it was a pity. However, at this time, quite a few people came out of Xuanhing Tianzong belatedly, and when they learned the whole story from the surrounding crowd, they all paled in astonishment. Among the crowd, one person hid behind others and issued a summons. He is a half-step world venerable in the Mingguang realm, and the half-step world lord he belongs to is under the Qinghong sacred sect of the Mingguang realm, who is attached behind Lei Hong. His summons was sent to Lei Hong. At this moment, Lei Hong himself, who had an ugly face, was already planning to leave the Ascension realm and return to the Bright Light realm. He didn't expect that Duan Lingtian from the God-defying realm was so powerful that he directly defeated his law clone. He still couldn't figure it out. Where did he offend the other party? Just because I asked him to save face just now, is he going to kill me? It seems that I have to make more preparations when I go back to the Mingguang realm this time. Who knows? Will Duan Lingtian join forces with Feng Qingyang to go to the Mingguang realm to deal with me? As soon as this idea came up, Lei Hong received a summons. When he finished reading the summons, his complexion suddenly changed. What? Meng Han from the outer worlds, in front of Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang, is willing to join hands with them to deal with me? It means that if I am not the law avatar present, but if I am present instead of the deity, there must be no return? The contents of the subpoena made his face even more ugly. Facing Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang, he is confident that he will retreat completely, and at most he will suffer some injuries. But if Meng Han is added, if the three of them work together, he is really not sure to leave. Meng Han, I have no grievances or enmities with you. Even you want to deal with me with them? Lei Hong looked ugly, and then quickly crossed the boundary and left the feather realm, returning to the bright light realm. It seems that after returning to the Mingguang realm this time, the Zhongmen can't stay anymore. The three of them really want to kill you. If I happen to be in the Zhongmen, I'm afraid I will definitely die. After returning to the Mingguang realm, Lei Hong did not return to the Qinghong sacred sect, but sent a message to another saint in the sect, telling him that he would hide in the dark and would not return to the sect. Also warn the other party if Duan Lingtian and the others dare to kill them, the other party can threaten them. If they dare to touch Qinghong sacred sect, he, Lei Hong, will not let Nishan realm and Bibo Tianfu go. How did things get to this point? The sage of Qinghong sacred sect had a dazed expression on his face. He didn't expect Lei Hong to offend 3 Xian 7th level existences at the same time when he went out. Looking at the whole world now, there are only 4 such existences. Lei Hong was one of them, but offended the other 3. What happened? However, Lei Hong didn't bother to explain. After stepping into the 7th level of Xian, his sense of superiority increased greatly, and he didn't care much about what the other party thought of him, even if the other party was regarded as his elder in the sect. Duan Lingtian and the others were naturally unaware of Lei Hong's actions. After chatting for a few words, the 3 of them also went to Xuanheng Tianzong, Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang. So far they have completely confirmed that Fang Yifan, the top venerable in the Ascension realm, is indeed dead. Hearing is believing, seeing is believing. The purpose of their coming here is to confirm the truth of this matter. It seems that the taboo realm heavenly tribulation facing the 6th level of Xian is indeed extremely dangerous. Feng Qingyang sighed. Chapter 4603. A Meng Han, who successfully crossed the tribulation, moved the hearts of many saints and world venerables. It wasn't until they knew that Meng Han had the 4th talisman of heaven in his hands that they realized that Meng Han's success could not be replicated. Later, Lei Hong succeeded in crossing the catastrophe, but he did not have the 4th heavenly amulet as a basis, which shows that Lei Hong's success can be replicated. At this time, a group of saints and world venerables wanted to take a step forward and enter another realm. However, in only a few decades, there was an existence not weaker than Lei Hong, who fell under the taboo realm of catastrophe, which undoubtedly woke them up. It seems that even if you enter the Tongtian Pagoda next time and get the Heavenly Tao Talisman, you can't rush through the tribulation. You must make more preparations and have enough confidence to go through the tribulation. Originally, I was still in a hurry to recover from my injuries, and I wanted to enter the Tongtian Tower to clear the customs and get the Heavenly Tao Talisman. But now it seems that I am not in such a hurry. This is the self-talk after knowing Fang Yifan's death after entering the Tongtian Tower and failing to break through the level, thinking that his strength is not weaker than Lei Hong in the past, and the fallen Fang Yifan's world venerable. There are also 2 Jesuan of the upper 3 realms who just got the Heavenly Tao Talisman from the Tongtian Tower recently, and they are all full of hearts at this time. 10 years ago, I got my Heavenly Tao Talisman. Looking at it now, fortunately, I was not in a hurry to cross the tribulation. Otherwise, I would have fallen with Fang Yifan. Fortunately, I didn't rush to attract the taboo realm. I didn't expect that even Fang Yifan failed to cross the catastrophe and died. Fang Yifan's strength is not weaker than mine. It can be said that Fang Yifan's death has woken up the bells for the saints and Jizans in the outer worlds and myriad worlds, letting them know that even if they get the talisman of the Tao of Heaven, they may not be able to deal with the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation. Soon, some Jesuan from myriad realms had an idea in their hearts. One day they will comprehend the 2 laws to the state of Dzogchen, and then take the most critical step, let the four ways of heaven and earth enter the seventh level, and attract the taboo state of heavenly calamity. With the help of the avatar of the Dzogchen law, the possibility of successfully crossing the catastrophe is even greater. Even if you don't have two laws to comprehend the great perfection, and then comprehend the two laws of the small perfection realm, you can try to attract the taboo realm heavenly tribulation. Many people are not unfamiliar with Lei Hong's strength. He has stepped into the seventh level of Xian, which undoubtedly means that he no longer suppresses his own world and four ways. Let him go one step further. As Jiezun, Lei Hong must have comprehended a law to the state of Dzogchen. Lei Hong's strength is considered top among Jesuan, mainly because he has not low attainments in several other laws, and one of those laws has even comprehended the realm of small perfection. Certainly, some of the top world venerables in the world have mastered a law of the great perfection and a law of the lesser perfection, and some have mastered a law of the great perfection while also mastering different four ways of heaven and earth. Not low either. As for the Jiezun who comprehended the two principles to the state of Dzogchen, there have also appeared in the history of Wuxia, but their achievements in the four realms of heaven and earth are often not high. After all, he devoted his mind to studying another Dzogchen law, so that he fell behind in the four realms of heaven and earth. Although he has mastered the two principles of Dzogchen, his attainments in the four realms of heaven and earth are so low that he is evenly divided with other top world masters. After leaving Xuanheng Tianzong, Meng Han said goodbye to Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang, then turned and left. For a moment, only Duan Lingtian, Feng Qingyang, Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan were left on the scene. Two adults. At this time, Xiao Mubai opened his mouth, looked at Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang and said with a smile, "Senior Zhang Shan next to me intends to take his family to migrate from the Mingguang realm to our Nishan realm, but I don't know that you two, how do you feel? Even though he is the world master of the Nishan realm, he also longs for the emergence of a world venerable powerhouse in the Nishan realm, and he doesn't mind even if they are outsiders." Even the reason why Zhang Shan had this idea was completely derived from his previous joke. Then Zhang Shan took the initiative to get acquainted with him, and envied the existence of two transcendent world venerables from the god-defying realm. At that time, he jokingly said to Zhang Shan, "You don't have to be envious. As long as you take your power and migrate to the Nishan realm, wouldn't you also be able to gain the glory of those two? My lords, I, Zhang Shan, really want to enter the god-defying realm, and I hope it will come true." Zhang Shan cupped his hands and said to Duan Lingtian and the two with a serious face, "This plan, he has also been deliberate." In the past, when he met Xiao Mubai for the first time, he didn't take Xiao Mubai's jokes to heart, and even thought that even if there were two transcendent world lords in Nishan realm, it would only be a momentary glory and might not last long. Later, Meng Han and Lei Hong broke through one after another, and he felt that he would be able to break through sooner or later, and even the other world lords in the upper three realms could also break through and take a crucial step. However, Fang Yifen's death made him wake up like a dream, realizing that it is not so easy to get through the taboo situation, and even Lei Hong may have survived a narrow escape. Otherwise, it would not be possible to come back after so many years of dormant recuperation. Lei Hong, he still understands after asking himself, is a master who is arrogant and likes to show off. If he is not injured, he must have returned to the Mingguang realm long ago. This time, Lei Hong's law avatar wanted to kill him, and Master Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm could be said to have saved his life. In addition, he also heard Xiao Mubai, the leader of the Nishan realm, mention that Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang once publicly gave lectures to a group of powerful people in the Nishan realm, talking about the three of the four ways of heaven and earth. Through Xiao Mubai's mouth, he learned that Duan Lingshan's attainments in the way of infinity and the way of control are not low. Therefore, after leaving Xuanheng Tianzong, he also made up his mind completely. Leading the Zhang family behind him, they migrated away from the Ascension realm and migrated to the Nishan realm. The Nishan realm used to be the middle 18 realms, but now few people dare to look at the 18 realms in the Nishan realm. They all know that in terms of top combat power, the Nishan realm is a stronger existence than the upper three realms. There is a bounded lord entering the god-defying realm, and my master and I are naturally welcome. Duan Lingtian smiled faintly, but he sensed the burning eyes of World Master Xiao Mubai. This world respected, 9 times out of 10, World Master Shao was the one who tricked him into Nishan realm. Ha ha! It seems that the god-defying realm will finally have a world venerable. Feng Qingyang also laughed. Thank you two adults for your success. Zhang Shan respectfully bowed to the two of them and thanked them. Later, I will send a message to my useless son and ask him to lead the Zhang family up and down and migrate to the Nishan realm. From now on, I will hang out with the two adults. Lord Shao, we will be a family in the future, and I hope you can give me more advice. Finally, Zhang Shan looked at Xiao Mubai again and smiled kindly. Chapter 4604. Ha ha! Brother Zhang, we will be a family from now on. Xiao Mubai also laughed, very happy. He never thought that in his lifetime, the first world venerable from the Nishan realm would be dragged from the outside to the Nishan realm. Of course, he also knew that this was due to Duan Lingtian and the others, not his personal charm. He still has this self-knowledge. In an instant, Xiao Mubai's gaze softened, and he couldn't help muttering to himself, saying to his father who had passed away for many years, "Father, have you seen it? After you, there is finally another world venerable in the Nishan realm." Whether it was Duan Lingtian or Feng Qingyang, he never regarded them as world lords from the beginning to the end. Just because, when the two of them left the god-defying realm, they were not Jiezuan. When he came back, it wasn't Jiezun either. When they came back, they were all existences beyond the realm. Lord Shao. At this time, Duan Lingtian said to Xiao Mubai through voice transmission, "In Nishan realm, the land left by the gods is protected by me, and it is safe and sound. Just arrange him in another plane of the gods. You can also shelter there by the way." Hearing Duan Lingshan's voice transmission, Xiao Mubai quickly responded via voice transmission, "I think so too." Of course, he thought this way, not because he wanted Zhang Shan to protect other planes of gods, but because he was worried that some people in the family behind Zhang Shan would offend Duan Lingshan's family and friends in the land of the gods. Although Zhang's family must suffer in the end, Zhang Shan can only admit it, but Zhang Shan also migrated from the outside to the Nishan realm, and as the leader of the Nishan realm, he doesn't want him to suffer too much. Follow closely. Xiao Mubai brought Zhang Shan back to the Nishan realm, intending to introduce him to the other world masters of the Nishan realm, but before leaving, Zhang Shan also sent a message to his son, a half-step world venerable of the Zhang family, to let him get ready and lead your family to migrate to the god-defying realm. Migration to the god realm? Father, are you serious? Zhang Shan's son was naturally stunned when he received the summons, and he had no idea what Zhang Shan was thinking. Didn't this father run out to hide from Lei Hong? Why did he suddenly return to the feather world? Moreover, he hasn't returned to the family yet. Faced with his son's question, Zhang Shan bluntly said that he was almost killed by Lei Hong. This time, I am also protected by Lord Duan Lingtian. Next time, it may not be so lucky. Now, even Fang Yifan has died in the taboo realm. I don't think I need to tell you how strong he is. With my current strength, it is difficult to get the talisman of the heavenly Tao of the Tongtian Tower. Even if I get it, I don't have the courage to attract the taboo realm before Fang Yifan's strength surpasses that of Fang Yifan, who was still Jesuan in the past. Unless my time is near. The limit, of course, refers to the exclusive catastrophe that the superpower needs to face once every 10,000 years. When he faced the last catastrophe, he had already struggled a little and was injured. Although it was only a minor injury, what about the next catastrophe? Now his strength is almost not too obvious compared to the day when the last catastrophe came, and the next catastrophe will come soon. He will definitely be able to survive this catastrophe, but he will definitely have to pay a big price. Father, I understand. The son of Zhang Shan didn't expect so many things to happen, and then thought of the death of Fang Yifan, the top respecter in the world of eternity, and his father's discouraged words. He no longer doubted his father's decision, and prepared to take the Zhang family to migrate against God realm. Of course, he knew in his heart that there must be some diehards who were unwilling to leave the old land. For those diehards, he can only let them be, and treat them as the branch of Zhang family in the ascension realm of the future god against God realm. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang didn't go back to Nishan realm with Xiao Mubai, because they still had something to do. They went to Mingguang realm, to the sect behind Lei Hong, Qinghong Shangzong. Today, Duan Lingtian strongly obliterated Lei Hong's legal avatar. For Lei Hong, although it was not a life-and-death enmity, it was still considered an enmity, and the legal avatar would need some time to condense again, to push people to the opposite side, so naturally there is a plan to clean up the other party. Then Lei Hong may not even be in Qinghong Shangzong. After coming to Mingguang realm, Duan Lingtian shook his head and said, "He is an expert in black hands, so he naturally wants to get it. I may come to Mingguang realm to find him to settle accounts. I also think he should not dare to stay there any longer." Feng Qingyang also said, "However, we still have to go, don't we? What if? What if he is so big-hearted and stays in his sect honestly?" Hearing this, Duan Lingtian laughed. "If that's the case, he can only be considered unlucky." Soon, Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang came to Qinghong Sacred Sect. The sect behind the hostile person naturally doesn't need to explain anything. Raising his hand is a sky-reaching sword glow, smashing down, not only forcing Qinghong Shangzong's sect protection formation to rise, but even crushing the formation. Broken, the formation mask all over the sky was crushed to pieces, like stars in the night sky, falling from the sky. "I'm looking for Lei Hong." Duan Lingtian spoke. His tone was calm, with the intention of killing. "It's the wind." The person who spoke stood beside Feng Qingyang, and he was the one who made the move just now. He must be Duan Lingtian, Feng Qingyang's disciple, another existence that surpassed the world venerable in the Nishan realm. In the Qinghong Sacred Sect, a group of Jesuans stood up against the sky. Although most of them were very angry, after confirming the identities of the other two, they felt powerless for a while. Their Qinghong sect's guardian formation, even if the top world venerables and top saints from outside the world come in person, it is absolutely impossible to defeat it in less than a quarter of an hour. It can only be the existence of the 7th level Xian that can defeat their Qinghong Shangzong's protective formation with a sword in the blink of an eye. Everyone was angry, powerless, and helpless. "I have met Lord Duan Lingtian, Lord Feng Qingyang." Not only were they helpless, but when they got close, many of them even took the initiative to say hello to Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang, for fear of offending them. Of course, there are also some people with backbone who just glared at Duan Lingtian and the two without saluting. They are not worried that Duan Lingtian will move them. If you dare to touch them, the Nishan realm must take revenge against the strongest 7th level powerhouse of Qinghong Shangzong. Sure enough not. And taking advantage of this time, Duan Lingshan's spiritual consciousness also scanned Qinghong's sacred sect, but did not find Lei Hong's whereabouts. At the same time, Qinghong Shengzhu's suzerain stood up and told Lei Hong's threatening message not long ago. Duan Lingtian sneered. Then, looking at another strong man in the realm of Qinghong's sect, his spiritual consciousness condensed and pressed on the opponent's body, forcing the opponent's face to be as pale as paper in an instant. At the same time, Duan Lingtian shot murderous intent in his eyes, and a sword glow flashed, and he slashed at the opponent. Then ill wait for him, Lei Hong, in the God-defying realm. Chapter 4605. Those who are strong in the realm of the world, in the past, in the 10,000 realms, and even in places outside the realm were high and invincible existences. Now, when faced with Duan Lingshan's slashing sword, his expression changed instantly. Boom! The light on his body soared. His blood was soaring, and he shot with all his strength, intending to block the sword. At the same time, he secretly scolded the suzerain of Qinghong Shangzong in his heart, and told the other party Lei Hong what to do with the threat. Isn't this slapping the other party's face in front of everyone? Couldn't you be more cryptic and use a better tone to tell the other party about this? In his opinion, the reason why Duan Lingtian directly targeted him was because Duan Lingtian was too young, at least very young compared to them old guys. Still in the young and vigorous stage. Of course, he also felt that this paragraph of Lingtian was a bit too much and arrogant. If he dared to kill him, wouldn't he be afraid that Lei Hong would go around the God realm and kill him in the future? As the existence of the 7th level Xian, He didn't think that Lei Hong would carry out a sneak attack on the god-defying realm. How could Ling Tian get Lei Hong during this period? Boom! There was a loud bang, and as the Qinghong Saint Sect's respectable powerhouse made an all-out attack to resist Duan Lingshan's sword, the aftermath of terrifying power raged around. A group of semi-saints of the Qinghong sect, after being affected by the aftermath of the power, their faces changed drastically, and they retreated to a distance in a hurry. As for the existences whose cultivation bases were not half holy, they were all thrown out, their faces pale, and their eyes horrified. World Zun battle, imminent. They have no mental preparation. He, as the instigator Qinghong Shengzong suzerain, was also dumbfounded at this time. What's going on? Didn't he just pass on Lei Hong's threat to the opponent? Why did the opponent directly attack? Moreover, they still shot at their Qinghong sacred sect's Jesuan. According to his seniority, this world venerable is still his master uncle. You have the strength? Duan Lingtian casually swiped his sword, and although he was stopped by the opponent, he still had the absolute upper hand. At the same time, Duan Lingtian was a little disappointed, because the Jesuan of the Qinghong sacred sect in front of him is much weaker than the Zhaoani of the Qingyun sacred sect he met in the past, and is almost the same as Guolin, another saint of the Qinghong sacred sect. Duan, Master Duan Lingtian, have something to say. Have something to say. The opponent shot with all his strength, almost using all his strength to block it, and it was very difficult to block it. Hearing the other party's calm words and seeing the other party's casual posture, how could he not see that the other party did not try his best at all? Perhaps even half of the strength is far from being used. Before Duan Lingtian could speak, the suzerain of the Qinghong sacred sect spoke again. Master Duan Lingtian, don't forget that my senior brother Lei Hong is not weaker than you now. If you dare to kill our senior uncle, senior brother Lei Hong will definitely not give up. Duan Lingtian frowned suddenly when the patriarch of the Qinghong sacred sect said this, and the face of the Qinghong sacred sect's world-venerated powerhouse changed drastically. In the past, why didn't he think that the suzerain of their Qinghong Shengzong was so brainless? Didn't you see that Duan Lingtian was angry? Young people will inevitably have a bigger temper. If you are not arrogant, is that still called a young man? Really? As Qinghong Shengzong Jizen's complexion changed drastically, before he even had time to comfort Duan Lingtian, Duan Lingtian had already stepped up his attack again. I still say the same thing. I will wait for Lei Hong to visit him in the Nishan realm. Duan Lingtian spoke indifferently, and when the words fell, a more terrifying force suddenly surged out from the sword glow in his hand, and the power was more than doubled in an instant. Stop! The terrifying and selfless sword light seemed to destroy the world, and instantly annihilated the attack of the powerful Qinghong Shengzong Jesuan. What's more, where the sword light passed, the space cracks and black holes that originally appeared in the void collapsed, and a large space collapsed area appeared. The opponent's offensive, at this moment, seemed to be swallowed by the collapsed space. No dash! Sensing the approaching breath of death, the Jesuan powerhouse of Qinghong sacred sect only had time to let out an unwilling and mournful cry, and then it became weaker and weaker until it disappeared. The sword light passed by, and if it turned into thousands of lights and shadows, it would crush Qinghong Shengzong's Jesuan powerhouse to pieces, as if a human-shaped glass was smashed, annihilated the collapsed space, and said part of the turbulent space. At the same time, boom! Rumble! Above Qinghong Shengzong's sky, the sky that was originally blue and clean suddenly became dizzy. Countless dark clouds gathered, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, accompanied by deafening thunder and loud bangs. After the cloud gathered, it turned into a cloud of blood, and immediately the rain of blood began to pour down. What's more, because it was the World Lord who fell, the scene was even more vast and shocking than the half-step World Lord's fall. The area shrouded by the vision of heaven and earth is at least several times larger than the scene where the half-sage fell, which is comparable to the half-step World Venerable. Even another top force that is closer to the Qinghong sacred sect can clearly see such visions. What is that? In this force, a group of powerhouses headed by a few half-step world lords rose up from the sky, looking at the direction of Qinghong's sacred sect from afar. Tong Kong shrank in unison. Under their gaze, the commotion from Qinghong's sacred sect even spread to their front door. They were far apart, and it could be seen that under the cloud of blood all over the sky, there was an aged figure, shrouded by the sword light, and it was shattered in an instant, and at the same time let out a shrill scream. No dash! Then, the sound gradually disappeared, but the pouring blood rain became bigger and bigger. Is it Qinghong Shengzong's side? Back then, I had seen the fall of a half-step world venerable, but the commotion was much smaller than the commotion in front of me. If Qinghong's sacred sect's half-step world venerable falls, the movement will not reach our side. If I'm not wrong, this is the fall of a world venerable powerhouse. A world venerable? Right now, there seems to be only one world lord left in the Qinghong sacred sect. The other world venerable, Lei Hong, has surpassed the world venerable and has become the 7th level powerhouse. This voice, this figure is somewhat familiar. Very much like the world venerable of the Qinghong sacred sect. In the end, everyone decided to brave the rain of blood and approach the past to find out. When they arrived near the gate of the Qinghong sacred sect, they saw two figures standing in the void, looking straight at the people above the Qinghong sacred sect's gate indifferently. At this moment, before one of the purple figures among the two figures, the space was still vibrating and distorting, and it was only after a long time that it was completely closed. Even so, they can still vaguely detect the terrifying fluctuations of space power emanating from it. Immediately afterwards, they saw. The gaze of the purple-clothed youth quickly fell on the Qinghong sect master, who was not unfamiliar to them. The suzerain of your Qinghong sacred sect. I will also send him on the road together. The rest of you, tell Lei Hong that I, Duan Lingtian, are waiting for him in the Nishan realm. Hearing this, they were shocked. God, this person is actually the second existence that surpassed the world venerable after the history was cut off. Duan Lingtian, the 7th level powerhouse of Xi'an? Moreover, according to the public announcement of the Tao of Heaven, Duan Lingtian is the first existence to survive the taboo realm of catastrophe after the history is cut off. Chapter 4606. No. If you dare to kill me, senior brother Lei Hong will definitely not let an God realm go. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words and seeing the murderous intent in Duan Lingshan's eyes, the Qinghong sacred sect master naturally didn't have the slightest chance of luck. After all, even his master and uncle who was a world venerable were killed by the other party. Killing Jiezun is like killing a chicken. What's more, he is a half-step world respected. You can't kill me. And this sentence became the last filial piety of Qinghong Shengzong's patriarch before his death. Almost when he finished speaking, Duan Lingtian didn't even see any movement, but he saw the space around him turbulent and distorted, and then his whole body was weird. The original place was fragmented, and the breath was instantly annihilated. Boom! In the next moment, the blood cloud had not yet dissipated from the sky and piled up again, and an even bigger blood rain poured down. The heaven and earth vision of the half-step Jizen's death was superimposed with the previous heaven and earth vision of Jizen's death, making this rain of blood even bigger. There was a dead silence. Whether it was a group of powerful people from the Qinghong sacred sect or a group of people who rushed over to watch the excitement, they all felt their scalps tingling at this moment. This Duan Lingtian from the god-defying realm actually came to Qinghong sacred sect, killing Jesuan first, and then killing half-step Jesuan, and half-step Jesuan is also the suzerain of Qinghong sacred sect. This moment, among the group of strongest people on Qinghong Shengzong's side, none of them dared to say anything. They were afraid that if they said anything, they would be killed by the other party. Now they see it too. During this period of Ling Tian, he was young and energetic, and he didn't care about it when he was impulsive. He didn't think about Anishan realm at all. Isn't he afraid that God realm will be turned upside down by Lei Hong in the future because of him? They are also at the 7th level of Xi'an. They don't think Duan Lingtian will be stronger than Lei Hong. Even because Duan Lingtian is young, they think Lei Hong's accumulation is stronger. Although Nishan realm has 2 extremely strong 7th levels, they also believe that even with the joint efforts of the two, Lei Hong is still capable of retreating completely. However, thinking so, no one dared to speak again. Their Qinghong Shengzong suzerain who just died is a lesson from the past. They even realized that if the suzerain hadn't committed death, if the suzerain was willing to communicate with Duan Lingtian through sound transmission in a more tactful way, maybe Duan Lingtian wouldn't be irritated to such an extent. In that way, the only Jesuan of Qinghong sect would not have to die. It's good now. Qinghong Shengzong, the strongest 7th-level powerhouse, did not dare to return to the sect, and Jesuan also died. In the future, can it still be regarded as the top sect in the Mingguang world? Of course, they knew that as long as Lei Hong survived for a day, then the top power in the Mingguang realm would be broken, and they would have a place in the Qinghong sacred sect for a day. Master, let's go back. Dan glanced at the rest of the Qinghong sacred sect, seeing that the other party members were silent. They didn't make any further moves, greeted Feng Qingyang, and left together to return to the god-defying realm. After the figures of the two disappeared from everyone's sight range, everyone came back to their senses. A group of powerful people from the nearby top forces who came to watch the excitement dared to ask at this time, but they didn't ask why, because the group of powerful people from the Qinghong sacred sect were not in a high mood. However, there are still 1 or 2 people because they have a good relationship with 1 or 2 strongest members of Qinghong Shengzong, and they understand the ins and outs of the matter through sound transmission. Damn it! Lei Hong actually met Duan Lingtian? Besides, Lei Hong ran away early because he was worried about being blocked by Duan Lingtian? Although Lei Hong ran away, he let the Qinghong sacred sect not have to worry. As long as Duan Lingtian dared to touch the Qinghong sacred sect, he would not let the god-defying realm go. This threat seems to be useless. It's useless. Otherwise, Duan Lingtian can come here and kill the world venerable first, and then kill half a step of the world venerable. This time, the Qinghong sacred sect is in bad luck. I heard that it was because the patriarch of the Qinghong sacred sect was so mean-spirited that he uttered nonsense in front of Duan Lingtian and threatened him in front of a group of people, which angered Duan Lingtian. Is he crazy? I don't know if Duan Lingtian can only be regarded as a very young man among the top powerhouses. Young people are not like us old people. Some of them regard face as a comparison. Life is more precious. It seems that Duan Lingtian is obviously this type of person. After knowing the ins and outs, everyone was a little dazed on the way back. And this matter soon began to ferment within the scope of Mingguang realm and spread widely. What? Duan Lingtian from the god-defying realm killed Qinghong sacred sect and Lei Hong's grand uncle Jejia? Moreover, he also killed the Qinghong sacred sect master? What's the situation? Duan Lingtian, when only he and his master were the 7th-level powerhouses in the past, I didn't see him targeting other people for no reason. Why did he jump out at this time to attack Qinghong Shengzong behind Lei Hong? Made a move? I don't know. I heard that Lei Hong was vaccinated with Qinghong sacred sect first, and ran away first, avoiding Duan Lingtian. Does it mean that he provoked Duan Lingtian first? Speaking of this, I have some insider information here. It seems that Lei Hong wanted to kill a Jesuan from the Ascension realm, and the other party had already mixed with Duan Lingtian, and recently led his family to migrate from the Ascension realm to the god-defying realm went. The entire Mingguang realm was a sensation. This astonishing news makes one's scalp tingle. In the history of our Mingguang realm, it seems that Jesuan has never been killed by someone, right? Not to mention our Mingguang realm, even in the upper 3 realms, there has never been a case of a Jesuan being killed by someone. The Jesuan who died in the history of the 10,000 realms are basically the middle 18th realm, and the middle class who died in the past. Boundary venerable of the realm. Lei Hong hid first. If he knew the news, he would probably go crazy, right? It must be crazy. He might go to the god-defying realm and start a killing spree. Young people are not easy to provoke. The temper is so big. In fact, at this time, in a certain corner of the Mingguang realm, Lei Hong did receive the news. Even before the news spread, he had already received multiple summons from Qinghong Shengzong. Young and vigorous? However, compared to most people who think Duan Lingtian is young and vigorous, he doesn't feel that way. An existence that can achieve such achievements at this age. Will it be a young and vigorous person? If he is young and vigorous, Can he live smoothly until now? Under the extreme anger, Lei Hong calmed down instead, thinking about whether there was any conspiracy behind Duan Lingshan's arrogance. For example, to lure him to go against the god realm to kill. This Ling Tian wants to trap and kill him? As a person who was once extremely young and vigorous, and suffered a lot of losses because of his youth and vigor, and even had his life hang by a thread several times, Lei Hong also woke up after several life and death. After that, he upholds a principle. If you are not an opponent of the enemy, just admit it. If you can't afford to offend people, don't offend them, just endure. Like Feng Qingyang from the god-defying realm back then, sitting in Tongtian Pagoda, although he was very unhappy, facing the powerful Feng Qingyang, he still swallowed his anger and retreated. If he was still young and energetic, and said a few more harsh words, wouldn't the other party chop him up? As for his high profile during this period, it is entirely because he feels that he has the strength to control those people he is going to control and the forces behind them. Because he was a comer here, Lei Hong didn't feel that Duan Lingtian killed 2 people in Qinghong sacred sect because of his youth and vigor, and one of them was Jie Zun. Chapter 4607. However, since Duan Lingtian slapped me in the face so brazenly, wouldn't I be underestimated if I didn't do anything? Thinking of this, Lei Hong's eyes showed a ruthless look again, extremely cold, as if he chose to eat someone. Thinking of him, Lei Hong, who has risen all the way to today, except for being slapped in the face once or twice in Weimar, he has never had a similar experience since then. This time, Duan Lingshan's behavior completely angered him. What's more, if he does nothing this time, 9 out of 10 he will be confused and breed demons, which will do all harm to his next practice. In the Mingguang realm, rumors were flying all over the sky about the demise of Qinghong Shengzong's world-venerable powerhouse. Duan Lingtian and his master Feng Qingyang have also returned to the Nishan realm. Xiao Tian, are you planning to lure Lei Hong to the god-defying realm to trap and kill him? Feng Qingyang asked with a smile. This time, he went to the Mingguang realm with his disciple, and watched with his own eyes that the other party even killed the Qinghong Shengzong. But he didn't express any opinions, because he knew that the other party must have his purpose and certainty in doing so. If only Lei Hong could be trapped and killed so easily. Duan Lingtian shook his head, although what he did this time was very high profile and powerful enough to completely anger Lei Hong. But he also felt that Lei Hong might not be so stupid, and came directly to his death. When he went out this time, he had seen Lei Hong's cautiousness, and he only appeared as a clone of the law. You must know that this was because Lei Hong didn't know his cards. Duan Lingtian can be sure that the current Lei Hong must feel that he has enough confidence to escape under the cooperation of the 2 strongest 7th-level existences in the Nishan realm. But even so, Lei Hong still chooses to be cautious. It can be seen that his cautiousness is beyond the reach of others. Not only, but on a whim, he wanted to take a look at Lei Hong's forces in the Mingguang realm, but the other party had already sent a message back, bluntly saying that he would hide outside in the near future. In addition, he also reminded Qinghong Shengzong that he, Duan Lingtian, did not dare to take action against Qinghong Shengzong easily, thinking that Duan Lingtian would definitely not get too rigid with it for the safety of the god-defying realm. I really didn't expect Lei Hong to be so powerful. If I had known earlier, I would have killed him the first time I saw him. After Feng Qingyang heard Duan Lingshan's words, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. In the past, the first time he saw Lei Hong was outside the Tongtian Tower shortly after the Tongtian Tower came down. Lei Hong was one of the first batch of Jesuan and saints who came at that time, and even talked to him. At that time, Lei Hong didn't have the current level of cultivation, and his law clone couldn't reach the point where his eyes were vivid, so it can be seen that the one who appeared at that time must be the deity. Hearing Master Feng Qingyang mentioning this matter, Duan Lingtian smiled calmly. Master, you don't have to be angry. Even if you can't kill Lei Hong in the near future, you may not have a chance in the future. As for Lei Hong, he thought of killing him as soon as he could, because when he heard about this person from the beginning, he didn't like him at all. Back then, he actually took the lead, intending to coerce the Nishan realm into handing him over. 2. Feng Qingyang also laughed. If you can't kill him now, it doesn't mean you won't have a chance in the future, unless he shrinks back and never shows up again. Soon, the master and apprentice separated. Duan Lingtian returned to Xia's house, and Feng Qingyang returned to the plane of the heavens Ji Mietian as before, and continued to be his Ji Mietian Di. Since Feng Qingyang came back from the Tongtian Tower last time, he didn't feel used to it after staying in Xia's house for a few days, and ran back to his former place, Nyamietian. Became the heavenly emperor of Nirvana again. Even as long as the former old department is still alive, he has basically found it back. The current Feng Qingyang is no longer the previous Feng Qingyang. He represents the top combat power of the Nishan realm, the top combat power of the myriad realms, and even the land outside the realm. The text of the Tao of Heaven was announced to the world, and everyone in Nishan realm saw the achievements of Feng Qingyang today. Although some people still question whether it is a person with the same name and surname. However, when Feng Qingyang returned to Nirvana at this juncture and ascended to the throne of God again, it undoubtedly defeated many doubting voices. Feng Qingyang returned to the heaven of Nirvana this time, and not long after, the emperors from all the planes of the heavens came to pay their respects, but except for a few people who used to be gentle with Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian had an old age, the rest were shut out. The wind is light now, and the eyes of those heavenly emperors are completely different. In his eyes, the emperors of the heavens are no different from chickens and dogs. Only the heavenly emperor, who had a relationship with their master and apprentice in the past, is eligible to be treated with courtesy by him. There are also people who came with the same heavenly emperor, whispering in private, thinking that Feng Qingyang is not the Feng Qingyang in the text of Tiandao, but just a person with the same name and surname, and even the words are disrespectful and offensive. As a result, at the moment when his words that only the heavenly emperor beside him could hear fell, he was shaken all over, and then under the eyes of the heavenly emperor beside him, he changed from a middle-aged person to an old man in an instant, and then became old and decayed all the way. In the end, it turned into dust and disappeared. All this happened in the blink of an eye, which made the heavenly emperor on the side almost pee out of fear. God! What kind of astonishing and terrifying method is this? At this moment, the trace of doubt deep in his heart completely dissipated, and then he knelt down on the spot, begging for mercy. Master Feng Qingyang, the person around me offended you. He deserves death. It is also hard to escape the blame. Please punish. Just now, the people nearby saw the person beside the heavenly emperor grow old and annihilated in an instant, and felt their scalps go numb for a while, wondering what kind of existence he had offended to be killed so silently. The person who makes the shot is definitely a strong person who is good at the law of time in the plane of the gods, and it is estimated that they are not as simple as the low-level gods or the middle-level gods. Ordinary high-ranking gods may not be able to do this step silently under their noses. Now, as the heavenly emperor knelt down and begged for mercy, and said nothing, they suddenly realized it. It turned out that it was the people around him who offended the heavenly Emperor Feng Qingyang, who had just returned. How dare you offend Emperor Feng Tian? You are looking for death. Humph! Death is not a pity. Emperor Rukawa, the people around you are really ignorant. Someone scolded angrily, and someone mocked the heavenly emperor who was kneeling on the ground. They are also the emperors of the heavens, but they know how unruly this person is usually, and they don't want to be weaker than others. But now, seeing how cowardly the other party is, they naturally treat it like a joke. Get out! An indifferent voice came from the palace of Jimi Tian Tian. From now on, you are not allowed to step into Jimi Tian Tian half a step. Otherwise you will be wiped out. Chapter 4608. Yes, Master Feng Qingyang. Rukawa, who was kneeling on the ground, heard the words, hurriedly stood up, turned around and rolled away in the air. As if he was afraid that the wind would be dissatisfied, he rolled very hard. However, no one present at this moment laughed at him for doing so. If it were them, they would only do it more standard, because that Emperor Fengtian said the word roll. Let's go too. Feng Qingyang's voice continued to come, and his tone was as indifferent as before. The reason why I returned to Nirvana Heaven is because I have stayed here for many years in the past, and I have deep feelings for it. So, you don't need to worry too much. In the past, you were what you were, And in the future, you will still be what you are. My existence will not affect you. Hearing Feng Qingyang's statement, all the heavenly emperors from all the heavens and planes were immediately relieved, and at the same time, they also hurriedly bid farewell and left without any neglect. I was afraid of stepping on the person next to Emperor Rukawa. That person, they still have the impression that he is the strongest under Rukawa Heavenly Emperor. Although his strength has not yet reached the level of the Heavenly Emperor, he is still catching up with the Heavenly Emperor. On the plane of the heavens, he can barely enter the ranks of the top powerhouses. If they were to face each other, there would be no more than dozens of moves, and it would be impossible to win the opponent even if they had a chance. But it was such a person who was killed silently in front of Feng Qingyang, which made them feel shocked and terrified from the bottom of their hearts. After the heavenly emperors of Fangfang retreated, Feng Qingyang was reminiscing about the old days with several heavenly emperors who were familiar with him and Duan Lingtian, as well as a few powerhouses from the heavenly planes. Emperor Feng Tian, you two, master and apprentice, are really shocking. I didn't expect that you both took such a crucial step, surpassing those powerhouses who are high above the plane of the gods. One side. That's right. Although I saw that your disciple was good back then, I didn't expect him to reach such a height. But I don't know if he will come back. I haven't seen him for a while, said another. It feels like it hasn't been many years. My cultivation has not advanced much, but Feng Tiandi, you and your disciple have already stood at such an astonishing height. I am shocked. It is unimaginable that I am here. I have known you in the past. Fortunately, I have known you in the past, otherwise I would rush to the door now, and I would probably be one of the group of people who were chased away by you, Emperor Feng Tian. Another person said so, and as her voice fell, the others all laughed, but their laughter was a little restrained. Although they have known Feng Qingyang for a long time and talked and laughed with Feng Qingyang or Duan Lingtian in the past, they also have self-knowledge, knowing that Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian are existences on another level. It is a great blessing for them to be able to remember the old days and remember these old friends. The next time Xiaotian passes by, he'll greet you and we'll get together again. Feng Qingyang smiled. Good. Everyone's eyes lit up, and they also wanted to see the little guy from the past. Thinking of that little guy who used to be cautious in front of them, they couldn't help but sigh inwardly. It really is the passage of time, the vicissitudes of life. It has only been so many years, and the little guys who used to look up to them now have a strength far stronger than them, standing on the top of this world. They didn't stay in Jimi Tian Emperor's palace for a long time, chatted with Feng Qingyang for a few days, declined Feng Qingyang's polite invitation to keep them overnight, and went back. Of course, when he went back, he didn't forget to remind Feng Qingyang again, Emperor Feng Tian, next time that disciple under your sect comes, you must inform us. Yeah. I haven't seen him for a long time. I miss him very much. I want to see again the little guy from the past. How much has changed now. I am afraid that standing there, the momentum can make me bow my head. Ha ha. Facing the reminders from several people, Feng Qingyang responded with a smile one by one. After the few people left, Feng Qingyang stayed in Jimi Tian Emperor Palace for a few days, and then left again. Go to Shura Hell. Azura Hell. Last time, I heard World Master Xiao say that there is a place that even he and those semi-holy World Masters dare not approach easily. Even his father was injured when he forced his way into it. Azura Hell, before Feng Qingyang only knew that it was one of the 7 evil places of the heavens, and also one of the 3 most dangerous places among the 7 evil places. Until some time ago, he didn't know that the top 3 of the 7 evil lands of the heavens, even in the eyes of the gods' plane and the most powerful people in the anti-god world, are also evil lands. Known as the 3 most fierce places in the god-defying realm. Known as the first of the 7 evil places in the heavenly planes, the god's graveyard is also ranked first among the 3 evil places in the god-defying realm. The second is the boundless abyss. Ranked third is Sura Hell. The 3 fierce lands also have entrances from each of the planes of the gods in the God against God realm. Azura Hell to Feng Qingyang is considered a blessed place. When he was hunted down by strong men from the Yun family, the land of gods on the plane of the gods, he survived by entering Azura Hell. Later on, He was even in the Azura Hell, where he obtained the inheritance of the former strongman of the god-defying realm, the Sword of Time. Although Shi Guangjian's greatest achievement during his lifetime was only a half-step world venerable, it was not because of his lack of talent that he failed to become a world venerable, but because he was targeted by others and died. Otherwise, given enough time, he will definitely become a world venerable powerhouse in the god-defying realm. Back then, the Sword of Time was also recognized as the most promising existence to become a world venerable. I didn't expect that in the Nishan realm, there are still places where even the world's most powerful people can be injured. This time, Feng Qingyang went to Azura Hell, precisely to meet the place where the father of the world lord Xiao Mubai, the former world venerable and strong man of Nishan realm, was all injured. According to what Xiao Mubai said, the Azura Hell is the most dangerous and mysterious place, and as a half-saint, he can enter the other places at will without any risk. Of course, there are still a few places that pose a threat to ordinary Xians. Everyone who is strong in the world is injured. Where will it be? Could it be related to the period of history before the historical partition? Is it the secret realm or Jedi left by some strong men above the 7th level before the historical partition? It stands to reason that it should all disappear in smoke. I only heard from Xiao Tian that before history is cut off, no matter how powerful an existence is, before the way of heaven destroys the world and restarts the world, it can only hide in the land of returning to the ruins to fend for itself. With such doubts in mind, after Feng Qingyang entered Azura Hell, he followed the approximate direction Xiao Mubai said, and headed there. On the way, Feng Qingyang thought of something and smiled calmly. This Shura is also predestined for us, master and apprentice. I strayed into this place because of the powerhouse of the Yun family who was recruited by Xiao Tian. Later, here is the inheritance of the Time Sword. Later, Xiao Tian also triggered the Taboo Realm catastrophe here, and successfully passed the catastrophe here. Although Feng Qingyang didn't experience some things with Duan Lingtian, he heard Duan Lingtian talk about them later, so he knows these things in detail. Is here. Soon, Feng Qingyang came to the place Xiao Mubai mentioned to him, a place shrouded in mist. His consciousness swept out, and there was no movement like a stone sinking into the sea. Chapter 4609. This place is really not easy. After the spiritual consciousness seemed to be devoured silently, Feng Qingyang's originally calm face also became extremely dignified in an instant. It is indeed a place where the world's most powerful people can be injured. He heard from the world lord Xiao Mubai that the former world venerable strongman in the Nishan realm, that is, Xiao Mubai's biological father, was accidentally injured here, and he hadn't had time to recover from his injuries. The catastrophe of the year came, and his father fell under the catastrophe. If it wasn't for that injury, his father would have survived at least 2 or 3 rounds of the 10,000 years tribulation. It was also because of this that the Nishan realm blocked the news of his father's death, and the outside world had no way of knowing that the Nishan realm no longer had a world venerable powerhouse to rely on. Go in and have a look. Even if Jiezun entered this foggy place, he would return with serious injuries. So Feng Qingyang was not afraid to underestimate this place. He was nervous and extra cautious. In a flash of Feng Qingyang's figure, he was like a nimble elf, lightly sinking into the fog-shrouded land. After entering, Feng Qingyang's expression couldn't help but change. It's just because, within the dense fog, suddenly surges of power that chilled his heart rushed toward him. Boom! Boom! In a blink of an eye, more than a dozen forces carrying the ear-piercing sound of rushing thunder, like an attack launched by more than a dozen people, cooperate with each other, like forming a formation, and the combined attack is directed towards the wind. Feng Qingyang took a deep breath. His complexion instantly became dignified, and the power stored in his body surged out, combined with the time law of the Dzogchen realm, and the 7th level swordsmanship. He urged a sword to slash out, facing the attack against him from the darkness of the mist. Stop! The fierce sword glow, as if carrying the power of destroying the world, swings through the void, and the space can be seen cracking inch by inch in the mist. Even after the crack, the picture is affected by the law of time, freezes for a short time, and then accelerates to explode instantly. Roar dash. After the mist, there was an earth-shattering beast roar, which made Feng Qingyang's blood surge, which also shocked him extremely. He is no longer the middle in the past. He is now a super strong standing at the top of the contemporary pyramid, the existence of the 7th level of the strongest. There is a beast's roar that can shake the blood in his body through the air. It's incredible. Even if it's a big monster of the realm of the world, a dozen of them surround him and roar in his ears, it may not be able to make him do this. At the same time, Feng Qingyang discovered that his howling sword glow met the dozens of combined forces behind the mist, and after only a moment of stalemate, he was crushed. At this moment, his mind was shocked. His offensive was crushed. Boom! When the attack was crushed, Feng Qingyang retreated quickly, because the consciousness around him felt the danger. Even so, a terrifying force, carrying its aftermath, still swept towards him. At the moment of hastily withdrawing, Feng Qingyang felt a burst of anxiety for no reason. When Feng Qingyang appeared outside, the fog in the fog-shrouded land ahead could be seen shaking, and then an area without fog shroud appeared for a short time. In this area, a translucent space barrier appeared and stopped the blood-red power that seemed to be carrying the supreme power. Roar dash! Another beast roar came, and Feng Qingyang could hear it. This sound was undoubtedly the same as the previous one, but separated by the space barrier, the sound of this beast roar was much quieter, and its power was no longer there. However, he could clearly see that at the same time as the roar of the beast appeared, the blood-red force hitting the space barrier intensified and oscillated again, making the space barrier seem to be crumbling. And at this moment, translucent imprints similar to talismans suddenly appeared on the space barrier, emitting a soft white light, suppressing the blood-red power, allowing the space barrier to calm down again. This space barrier. Feng Qingyang sucked in a breath of cold air. Just as he extended his spiritual consciousness, he was swallowed by it before he got close to the space barrier. This also made him realize that the previous spiritual consciousness disappeared, most likely because of this unusual space barrier. It's not that Feng Qingyang has never been in contact with space barriers before, but whether it's the space barrier between the myriad worlds, or the space barrier between the myriad worlds and the place outside the world, to him it's all the same as Zihu's infinite space barrier. Different. Spiritual consciousness can be easily explored, and people can tear it apart at any time and shuttle back and forth. Stop! Feng Qingyang slashed out with all his strength again. Before the fog gathered and was about to cover the space barrier that blocked the power, he slashed up. In the past, the sword that could easily tear apart the space barrier between all walks of life failed to work this time and was easily stopped. Sure enough, this is Feng Qingyang's temptation. Just now he discovered the strangeness of the space barrier. It can stop the force that crushes his offensive, and it can also swallow his spiritual consciousness, so it can also stop his offensive. What is behind this mysterious space barrier? At this moment, Feng Qingyang's heart is full of doubts and full of thirst for knowledge. At this time, the fog gathered again, covering up the existence of the space barrier. The last scene that Feng Qingyang saw was behind the space barrier, the scene where the blood in his heart receded. I can easily pass through the space barrier to enter, and I can also shoot inside, extending my spiritual consciousness. I can also get out of it without being hindered, and it even stopped the blood-like force from attacking me inside. I'm outside, no matter whether it's the divine sense or the power I'm sending out, I can't pass through it. That beast roar, what exactly is it? Blood tide? Is it its power? Was it that almost hurt me just now? It was also the one that seriously injured the father of World Lord Shao back then? Feng Qingyang looked at the fog in front of him, and he really had thousands of doubts waiting to be answered. This place is so weird. However, Feng Qingyang temporarily gave up on entering it again, because he found that as long as he had the idea of wanting to enter again, he would feel inexplicably uneasy in his heart. Lord Shao. In order to learn more about this place, Feng Qingyang immediately found Xiao Mubai after leaving here. Ask him if anyone other than his father has ever been inside before? Have. Xiao Mubai gave a very positive answer. Before that, I heard from my father that many people went in, but they never came out again, including some half-step world respecters. Because of this, my father entered it to explore out of curiosity. That place has always been recognized as a Jedi. Chapter 46:10. Jedi. This is not the first time that Xiao Mubai called this mysterious place of Azura Hell like this, but the last time Feng Qingyang heard from him that his father, who was a world venerable, came out alive, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Jiezun can come out alive, and as an existence beyond Jiezun, naturally his life will not be in danger. At that time, he even felt that he must be able to see through the mysteries of this mysterious place. But I didn't expect that I went in quickly and came out quickly. He didn't suffer any injuries, but it was also because he walked fast. Otherwise, even if he didn't die, he would have to pay a big price for the power displayed by that blood tide. Did your father say what he encountered in it? Feng Qingyang asked for details. Last time he only heard from Xiao Mubai that his father returned seriously injured not long after entering, and he didn't elaborate on what his father encountered inside. Come to think of it, as the other party's son, Xiao Mubai should have mentioned the process to him after the other party returned from a serious injury. That's what I said. Xiao Mubai nodded. Father said that as soon as he entered, he felt a suffocating breath approaching from a distance. When he recovered, he was almost drowned by the power in the mist. At the critical moment, he retreated at full speed while resisting that force, but he still suffered serious injuries before he came out. According to what my father said, that power is definitely beyond the power of the world venerable, and it may be comparable to the existence of the 7th level that only appeared before the historical cutoff. It is also because of this that Xiao Mubai did not follow Feng Qingyang to explain the details. He felt that it was unnecessary. The power of existence comparable to the 7th level as the strongest 7th level Feng Qingyang would definitely be able to deal with it. Master Feng Qingyang, have you gone in? Xiao Mubai asked. Feng Qingyang nodded. That place is a bit weird. As for the power your father mentioned, it is definitely not as simple as the 7th level. Even if it is the 7th level of Xion, it is not an ordinary 7th level of Xion. With that power, it is difficult for me to go any further, and I can only be forced to quit. Hearing Feng Qingyang's words, Xiao Mubai flinched and turned pale with shock. How can this be? Even Mr. Feng Qingyang, you can only go in and then leave? He was really scared. What is that place? The 7th level can be called the strongest existence in the world. When you enter it, you can't even kill the first blocker, but you are forced to come out instead. That's what it is. Feng Qingyang smiled wryly, then greeted Xiao Mubai, and left. I went directly to Duan Lingtian. Master! Duan Lingtian didn't expect that after only a few days of separation, his master would come to his door again. Presumably he had something to ask him. You have something to do with me? Xiao Tian. Feng Qingyang cut to the chase and directly told Duan Lingtian about his experience, as well as the previous communication with Xiao Mubai about the mysterious place in Azura Hell. Duan Lingtian couldn't help being moved when he heard the words. He knows the place in Azura Hell. What's more, in the past when he attracted the heavenly tribulation of the Forbidden Realm, he also passed it there, and after successfully crossing the calamity, he also left the god-defying realm from there, fearing that someone would block him and strangle him in the cradle. Azura Hell, when he first knew about it, he only knew that it was one of the 7 evil places of the heavens. It was only later that I realized that it was one of the 3 most dangerous of the 7 evil places. But I didn't expect that those 3 fierce places were also known as the 3 fierce places against the gods. Of course, Duan Lingtian has never been to the other 2 fierce places. Master, you have the power to pressure you? Duan Lingtian couldn't help but ask for details, because in his opinion, this is really amazing. There is such a terrible existence hidden in that place of Azura Hell? Didn't it mean that after the history is cut off, it is extremely difficult to appear beyond the existence of saints and world venerables? Tian Dao has also announced that his master is the first strong man who surpassed saints and world venerables after the historical cutoff. The existence of surpassing saints and Jesuin who appeared later, such as him, Meng Han, and Lei Hong, were also widely announced to everyone by Tiandao through Tiando's words. Unless that was the existence before the historical partition. Only the existence before the historical partition, even if it is as strong as the old man Wukong, can't he just hide in the place of returning to the ruins, leaving only the remnant soul lingering on? According to the memory of the old man Wukong, he was definitely one of the top few powerhouses before the history cut off. In addition, in the memory of the old man Wukong, there is no record of the 3 fierce places in the Nishan realm. Maybe the 3 places before the historical cutoff were not called the current names, but there is no relevant information record. If there is such a powerful existence, isolated in a certain place, it is impossible for the old man Wukong to have no news at all. At this moment, Duan Lingtian thought a lot. Sure, hell is so dangerous, so what about the infinite abyss, which is even more dangerous than him, and the cemetery of gods? Wrong. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian thought of another question. The 3 most vicious lands in the god-defying realm, why do you rank the infinite abyss and the tomb of the gods before the Azura hell? The mysterious place in Shura hell, even Jiezun couldn't get a glimpse of it, and retreated with serious injuries. Isn't this the most dangerous place? Duan Lingtian expressed his doubts, and Feng Qingyang was quite puzzled when he heard the words. Then the two had no choice but to find Xiao Mubai. Ask Xiao Mubai, the know-it-all of the god-defying realm. Perhaps Xiao Mubai, the world lord of the Nishan realm, is much younger than the other half-step world venerable world masters. But he is the son of the former world venerable powerhouse of the Nishan realm. Actually, this ranking was made by my father himself, Xiao Mubai said with a wry smile. The reason why Azura Hell is ranked 3rd is because there is only one mysterious place shrouded in mist in Azura Hell. In that endless abyss, there are 2 mysterious places shrouded in mist. As for the cemetery of the gods, there are 6 mysterious places shrouded in mist. Following Xiao Mubai's words, Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang also gained a better understanding of the 3 fierce places in the Nishan realm. It turns out that the ranking of fierce places is based on this. Those 8 fog-shrouded places, can your father be sure that they are as dangerous as the mysterious places in Azura Hell? He has been in all of them? Feng Qingyang asked with a frown. The time at the mysterious land of Azura Hell caused Xiao Mubai's father to retreat with serious injuries, so that he died in the following 10,000 years of catastrophe. He couldn't have been in all the other 8 places, could he? If it was really such a dangerous place, would he still be alive to face the catastrophe? Chapter 46:11. Duan Lingtian also looked at Xiao Mubai. He also found it unrealistic. Hearing this, Xiao Mubai couldn't help but smile wryly. Of course I haven't been there. Father has only been to the mysterious place shrouded in mist in Azura Hell. However, the 8 mysterious places in the infinite abyss and the tomb of the gods are no different from the place in Shura Hell, just from the surface and the detection of spiritual consciousness. It can absorb divine consciousness, but it's hard to get a glimpse of it. In addition, I heard from my father that according to the historical records of the Nishan realm, there were also some half-step world lords who went to the 8 mysterious places in the past, but they never came back. Even, there are 2 places where it seems that the former god-defying realm master entered. One of them was seriously injured and retreated, and the other did not come out alive again. Xiao Mubai's words can be regarded as solving the confusion in Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's heart. Turned out to be like this. It's not that Xiao Mubai's father has entered those mysterious places, but that in the history of Nishan realm, many half-step world venerables have disappeared there. And it is even suspected that there is another world venerable missing. In that case, it does seem that there is some connection. Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed, and then he guessed. You say, the 9 mysterious places, could they be the 9 entrances and exits of the space where powerful monsters exist? Actually, behind those 9 mysterious space barriers is the same space? Hearing Duan Lingshan's guess, Xiao Mubai nodded. It's not impossible. If it leads to the same space. Feng Qingyang's gaze suddenly deepened. What kind of space would that be? There are actually 9 entrances and exits that exist in the Nishan realm. Do not know either. Is there such a place in the rest of the world? Hearing Master Feng Qingyang's words, Duan Lingtian shook his head and said, It's just speculation that the 9 mysterious places are the entrances and exits of the same space, and it may not be true. However, if you want to know whether there is such a place in the rest of the world, just ask Zhang Shan and you will know. Zhang Shan is the world venerable powerhouse in the feathering realm who came back with Xiao Mubai some time ago. Now, the Zhang family behind Zhang Shan has migrated from the feathering realm to the god-defying realm and settled in another plane of the gods. In the Zhang family, there were also some people who were unwilling to come and stayed in the Yuhua world. However, more than 90% of the people came here. As Zhang Shan's only Jesuan powerhouse, his appeal is still very strong. They'll call Brother Zhang over. When Xiao Mubai left in a flash, Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's voice was heard, and the speed was extremely fast. Zhang Shan was brought with him not long after. Zhang Shan has met Lord Duan Lingtian and Lord Feng Qingyang. After Zhang Shan came over, he saluted Duan Lingtian and Duan Lingtian respectfully. At the same time, he looked into the depths of Duan Lingshan's gaze, with a bit of sincere awe. After he brought the Zhang family to Nishan realm, the people behind the Zhang family also brought him a shocking news. Duan Lingtian, a strong man from the Nishan realm, kissed the Qinghong sect of the Bright Light realm, annihilated his suzerain, and even killed a strong world venerable, Qinghong Shengzong. He naturally knew that it was the sect behind Lei Hong. Master Duan Lingtian, you and Lei Hong have a grudge purely because you protect me. Zhang Shan bowed to Duan Lingtian. Now that you are attacking the Qinghong sacred sect of the Mingguang realm, with Lei Hong's temperament, I'm afraid you won't let it go. This, you must be careful. In addition, from now on, Master Duan Lingtian, if you have anything to ask me, Zhang Shan, you only need to say hello, and Zhang Shan, I will definitely do it without reservation. What Zhang Shan said was serious and sincere, and he really accepted Duan Lingshan's past protection. Don't worry, I know it well. Lei Hong, in my eyes, is just a clown. Duan Lingtian smiled calmly, changed the subject and said, We came to you this time to ask you something. Then, Duan Lingtian asked Zhang Shan if there were any dangerous places in the Ascension realm like the 9 mysterious places among the 3 most dangerous places in the Nishan realm. Soon, Zhang Shan gave Duan Lingtian the answer, bluntly saying that in the Yuhua world, there are also such places and even some world venerable powerhouses fell in it, and those who entered half a step of the world venerable never came out again. However, those who perish are some existences in the history of the Ascension world. People of later generations know the dangers of those places, so it is naturally impossible to take risks easily. At least, apart from the Jesuan who are still alive in the Mingguang realm, Zhang Shan has never heard of anyone who has gone to those places to explore, except for those who know that they will die in the next 10,000-year catastrophe. As for Jesuan, who knew that he would die in the next 10,000 years tribulation, he entered those places to seek a further path. However, in the end, without exception, all of them stayed inside and never came out again. How many places like that are there in the Ascension world? Duan Lingtian asked. The 9 places exist in 3 different small planes. In one of the small planes, there is only 1 place, and in the other 2 small planes, there are 3 places and 5 places. Zhang Shan said. Another 9. After listening to Zhang Shan's words, Duan Lingtian glanced at Feng Qingyang and Xiao Mubai, and saw surprise in the eyes of the other 2. He did not expect to be so similar to Nishan realm. Are there places like this in the other 2 realms of the upper 3 realms? The Bright Light realm and the Primordial Meng realm? Feng Qingyang questioned Zhang Shan. Zhang Shan heard the words and said, There are indeed 9 such places in the Hongmeng realm, but there are none in the Bright Light realm. However, in the history of the upper 3 realms, many half-step world lords and world lords from the Bright Light realm went to the Yuhua realm and the Hongmeng realm respectively to explore, and the half-step world lords never came out again. People perish. When Zhang Shan said this, he paused for a moment and then said, As far as I know, there are 9 similarly dangerous places within one of the 18 realms of China. Master Duan Lingtian, you are asking the same question as Master Feng Qingyang. But is there such a place in Nishan realm? As a world venerable, Zhang Shan is naturally not stupid, and he knows that the two people in front of him asked him about this matter, and it is likely that an Aishan realm also has such a place. Have. Duan Lingtian nodded. Zhang Shan couldn't help but brighten his eyes when he heard the words. As far as I know, those dangerous places are half step into Jesuin, and you will die, and Jesuin enters life and death. And the strength of the two adults is far superior to Jesun. Have you gone in to investigate? Zhang Shan was really curious. Those dangerous places are too mysterious, and have always been unsolved mysteries. In the contemporary era, there are also some world venerables who have been tempted and want to find out, but few of them really take action, and they are worried that they will perish because of curiosity. Chapter 46:12. I've been in it. Feng Qingyang opened his mouth, did not hide anything, and told his own experience. It also changed Zhang Shan's expression. Master Feng Qingyang, who is as strong as Feng Qingyang, was forced to retreat by the creatures inside. If he hadn't heard this Lord Feng Qingyang speak in person, he would never have believed it. Soon, Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan left, and Feng Qingyang looked at Duan Lingtian and asked with a smile, Xiao Tian, your strength is stronger than mine. Do you want to go in and have a look? He was really curious about the place. Duan Lingtian shook his head when he heard the words. Master, to be honest, am not very interested in those mysterious places. From what you said, the creatures inside should be restricted by certain rules, and there is no way to get out of it. Otherwise, with the strength of that monster, the 10,000 realms and the outer realms would have been in chaos long ago. You must know that in the past 10,000 worlds and the land outside the world, there was no existence beyond saints and world venerables. And those mysterious places existed long before he and his master Feng Qingyang appeared in this world, and there is no problem until now, so there is a high probability that there will be no problem later. That being the case, why should he bother? If my guess is correct, those mysterious places shrouded in mist are really the entrances and exits of a certain mysterious space. That mysterious space must not be simple. The gatekeeper can force you back, the master who has stepped into the 7th level of the strongest. If there are other creatures, the strength will not be weak. Master, I think since it has no effect on us, we don't need to take risks. If there is a more powerful creature that attacks you, you may not be able to retreat like this time. Duan Lingtian spoke very seriously. He has inherited the memory of the old man Wukong, so he naturally knows that the existence of the 7th level of Xian, before the historical partition, is considered a strong man, but when facing the old man Wukong at his peak, he is not at all. What kind of? Even a slap can kill him. After the 7th level of the strongest, the strength gap between each level of cultivation is no smaller than the 6th level of the strongest, that is, the gap between the saint, the realm of the world, and the 7th level of the strongest. With Duan Lingshan's words, cold water was poured on his face first, extinguishing Feng Qingyang's fiery curiosity about that mysterious place. After he was no longer in charge, he also realized that his previous behavior was a bit risky. It's because I'm too boring. Feng Qingyang sighed with a wry smile. I didn't expect that you can see clearly without Xiaotian. 2. Since it has no effect on us, there is no need to worry about them. Now, he has also lost his curiosity about that place. Curiosity killed the cat. He has traveled all the way, but he has seen many people die because of curiosity. Even in his hands, many people provoked him out of curiosity and were obliterated by him. Xiao Tian. Immediately afterwards, Feng Qingyang thought of the scene of those old friends reuniting with him in Jalishan, and told Duan Lingtian what he said. If you are free later, come to Jalishan. I will call them come and get together. Good. Duan Lingtian smiled and nodded. Exactly. I haven't seen them for a long time. After I've settled the matter at hand, he'll take a trip to the heaven of Nirvana. These 2 days after being free, he finally started to prepare to solve that matter. Is there anything else you need to do now? Feng Qingyang was puzzled. I want to get that Yun Qing Yen out. A cold light flashed in Duan Lingshan's eyes, and he said bluntly, of course, now he has merged with the person of the Hun clan. It seems that the new name is Yun Xinfeng? At the beginning, Yun Qingyan was not there when he ruthlessly dealt with Qir and imprisoned Qir's soul. However, afterwards, he had already learned the whole story from Xia Jie, the third master of the Xia family. He knew that Yun Qingyan changed his name to Yun Xinfeng, betrayed the Yun family, and even left the Nishan realm. It seems that he is no longer in the god-defying realm? Feng Qingyang frowned. If I go out to find him, I'm afraid he'll be looking for a needle in a haystack. Look for a needle in a haystack. Duan Lingshan's eyes were firm and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. No matter where he is, whether he is alive or dead, I will do my best to confirm it. This will also be my main goal in the future. After returning this time, his wife Qir was safe and sound, and he was finally relieved. However, Qir's suffering over the years made him unable to ignore it. Yun Qingyan must die. No matter what his name is now, even if only a little bit of his soul belongs to Yun Qingyan, he must die. Now, he has also enjoyed the family happiness, and the people around him have their own life for the time being, and it is time for him to solve this matter. Do you need me to help you? Feng Qingyang asked. The enemy of his disciple is naturally also his enemy. What's more, in the past, Yun Qingyan sent people to hunt him down and put him in the Shura hell, and it was all because of good luck that he was able to survive smoothly. Master, if I really need your help, I won't be polite. Duan Lingtian took a deep breath. The killing intent disappeared from his eyes. The coldness dissipated on his face, and he regained his spring-like smile and said to Feng Qingyang, "Good." After Feng Qingyang responded, he said hello and left. Since his disciple has something to do, it is inconvenient for him to continue disturbing him. After Feng Qingyang left, Duan Lingtian stayed in Nishan realm for a few more days and made some arrangements. Then, he walked out of the god-defying realm and went to a place outside the realm. Old Meng. After arriving at the outer boundary, Duan Lingtian immediately contacted Mr. Meng of Bibo Tianfu, because for the next matter, asking him to help can get twice the result with half the effort. He just needs to wait for the news. Brother Duan Lingtian, what do you want me to do? Meng Han was a little surprised when he received the summons. He didn't expect that this man would come to see him within a few days of separation. I've heard that you killed 2 people from the Qinghong sacred sect in the Mingguang realm, and you completely offended Lei Hong to death. However, even if you are dealing with Lei Hong, you probably don't need to ask me for help, do you? Not only is Feng Qingyang aware of Duan Lingshan's true strength, even Meng Han is well aware of it, knowing that Lei Hong is absolutely impossible to be Duan Lingshan's opponent. Although many people think that Duan Lingshan's heavy hand against Lei Hong like that will make Lei Hong jump over the wall in a hurry, and may backfire on himself. But he knew that this possibility was unlikely. Duan Lingtian dared to do that because he believed in his own strength, and he didn't worry about Lei Hong's retaliation afterwards. Old Meng, I'm here to find you. It has nothing to do with Lei Hong's incident. Duan Lingtian said that he did not expect that his deeds in the Mingguang realm had already reached the ears of Meng Han, who was outside the realm. Chapter 46:13. It has nothing to do with Lei Hong? Meng Han was puzzled. I'll go to Bibo Tianfu to find you. Let's meet and talk. Duan Lingtian decided to talk to Meng Han about this matter because he had to describe Yun Qingyan's current new look to Meng Han face to face. Good. Meng Han soon waited for Duan Lingtian. At this moment, Duan Lingtian explained his purpose. Old Meng, the simple thing I asked you to do is to find the person I'm looking for. It's best not to mobilize the crowd, because I don't want to startle the snake. Old Meng, what you have to do is to contact the saints of the major saint forces in the outside world. Give them the portrait I drew, and ask them to help find that person. Just find someone, monitor them after you find them, and then pass the news to Bibo Tianfu. My avatar of this law will stay in Bibo Tianfu in the future. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Meng Han couldn't help being surprised. You're just a clone of the law? Duan Lingtian nodded. This is his clone of the law of time. Although the strength is not as good as his main body, if he really wants to face Meng Han, even if it is difficult to win, he can still remain invincible. Old Meng, ask them to help you find that person. Don't say that I am looking for that person. Just say that you are looking for that person yourself. Once you find that person, those who can keep an eye on that person afterwards can get you, Mr. Meng, a favor within your ability. In this way, presumably they will do their best. Meng Han already felt that he owed Duan Lingtian a favor, if Duan Lingtian hadn't allowed him to enter the Tongtian Tower first. He really wasn't very sure of surviving the taboo realm and achieving today's achievement. Maybe it will end the same way as Fang Yifan in the Feather World. Don't worry, you can leave this matter to me. I will personally go to the great saint forces in the outer world. Meng Han said with a serious face. Next you, the avatar of the law, stay at Bibo Tianfu and wait for news. Shall I find someone to entertain you? Or are you contacting that kid Xiao Tianxi? Duan Lingtian smiled and said, I'll just contact Palace Master Xiao. Good. Meng Han nodded, then said hello and left. And Duan Lingtian also contacted Xiao Tianxi on his own, telling him that he planned to stay in Bibo Tianfu for a while and needed him to arrange a place to stay, but he didn't want others to know. Everything is low-key. No problem. Knowing that Duan Lingtian was here, Xiao Tianxi was also a little surprised. He didn't expect the other party to come to Bibo Tianfu so soon, and at the same time he was curious about the other party's reason for coming. Duan Lingtian didn't hide it either, because Bibo Tianfu will definitely help him find Yun Qingyan in the future. For this matter, I asked some of my casual cultivator friends to help me find it. Xiao Tianxi said, it was rare for Duan Lingtian to use him for something he was naturally duty-bound. After all, Duan Lingtian in the past gave him enough face. The ancestor of their Bibo Tianfu, after stepping into the 7th level of Xian, in front of all the senior officials of Bibo Tianfu, bluntly said that he was able to take the most critical step all thanks to Xiao Tianxi. After all, it was Duan Lingtian who was contacted by Xiao Tianxi. Duan Lingtian gave him Xiao Tianxi's face so that the other party could be the first to enter the Tongtian Tower and receive the benefits of heaven. Good. Under Xiao Tianxi's arrangement, Duan Lingshan's legal avatar, which looks no different from the deity, also stayed in Bibo Tianfu, waiting for the good news from outside. He believes that with Meng Han's current strength, it is impossible for the saint forces anywhere outside the world to deny him face. What's more, Meng Han will promise benefits. Meng Han's favor is enough to make those saint forces go crazy. And in fact, it is true. In the next period of time, Meng Han personally traveled all over the major saint powers outside the world, and the major powers quickly took action, mobilizing a group of powerful people to secretly investigate the clues of the Yun Xinfeng. It can be said that as long as Yun Qingjian's pseudonym Yun Xinfeng is outside the boundary, as long as he does not change his appearance on purpose, it is only a matter of time before he is found out. Of course, Duan Lingshan's true self was not idle when Meng Han in the outer boundary started to move. After saying hello to Zhang Shan, the deity went out in person and asked Zhang Shan to take him to the great powers of the upper 3 realms. Let the people of these forces also check themselves in their own domain to see if Yun Xinfeng has left footprints in their domain. Wherever Duan Lingtian went, the forces of Jesuin in the upper 3 realms, no matter whether there were Jesuin or those without Jesuin, they all treated them respectfully. Some strong men from some forces couldn't help but change their expressions when they saw Duan Lingtian coming to the door. They are all worried that what Duan Lingtian did in Mingguang realm Qinghong Shengzong will do it again in their forces. It wasn't until Duan Lingtian explained his purpose that they breathed a sigh of relief. Even after listening to Duan Lingshan's promise, their eyes lit up. As long as you find someone, keep an eye on them until I make it to the scene. I, Duan Lingtian, owe you a favor, but if Duan Lingtian can do what I can, I will never refuse. The favor of an existence beyond the realm. How can this not make them heartbroken? Suddenly, they all moved. In addition to the upper 3 realms, Duan Lingtian also visited the other 17 realms out of the 18 middle realms, and greeted the Banbu Jesuin who was in charge of all circles. As for Jesuin, because he was afraid of Lei Hong's attack on Jesuin, Jesuin from the 17th realm had already left to take refuge. All the semi-saints almost patted their chests to promise that they would do their best to check their own realms, and as soon as they found the whereabouts of the target, they would contact Duan Lingtian as soon as possible. After finishing all this, Duan Lingtian went back to Nishan realm to wait for news. This time, he can be said to have laid a network against Yun Qingyan. Duan Lingtian made such a big noise. Even though those people kept a low profile, it still reached Lei Hong's ears. Lei Hong still stays in Mingguang realm. He received a summons from a junior brother of the Qinghong sacred sect, who told him that Duan Lingtian was looking for someone and made a big promise. Of course, Duan Lingtian did not go to the Qinghong sacred sect. The reason why the other party knew about this was entirely from his own friend. His friend was the most powerful person in another world respect force in the Mingguang realm, Yun Xinfeng. During this period, Ling Tian is looking for the other party with such a great fanfare. Could it be that the other party has some big secret? Lei Hong couldn't bear to think too much. Now, like Duan Ling Tian, he has stepped into the existence of the 7th level Xian. Letting them exist at this level, looking for a person with great fanfare, shows that the other party is definitely not simple. Either it is a deadly enemy, or there is something worth seeking. It seems that I have to go to the god-defying realm ahead of time. Lei Hong's eyes flashed, and he muttered to himself. He wanted to figure this out. If that person has any interests to seek, he might as well try to cut off Duan Lingtian. Chapter 46:14. The Land Left by the Gods. In a canyon, 2 figures were surrounded by a group of people. Both of them were injured, their breath was a little weak, and it seemed that there was no way out. Hand over the things and give you a whole corpse. Among the group of people surrounding the two, a middle-aged man who was obviously the leader stepped out of the air, staring coldly at the 2 veiled women in front of him, and said coldly. He didn't expect that, after spending a lot of effort on his own family and several other forces, they didn't get the treasure. Instead, the 2 women, Huang Ke, who were practicing casually, took the things away, and almost escaped by the other 2. Fortunately, he was lucky and led people to chase the right route and caught up with them. He didn't shoot directly, because the thing is in the holding ring of the other 2. Once the 2 die, the holding ring with self-destruct function will disappear and annihilate with that thing. It's death anyway. Why should we give things to you? One of the women sneered. It's hard to imagine that even if she is in danger of life and death now, even if she has injuries on her body, and it is obviously difficult to resist the group of people in front of her, her eyes are still extremely calm. And the other woman beside her looked calm, but with a bit of helplessness. The 2 graceful girls both wore veils with little transparency, but based on their exposed half-faces, it was not difficult to see that their cheeks under the veils were also very bright. If you don't hand over the things, I will make it impossible for you to survive or die. The middle-aged man's eyes flashed sharply, and he bluntly threatened. Sister Fayer, there's no need to talk nonsense with him. The masked woman with a bit of helplessness in that calm gaze shook her head slightly, then raised her hand to take out a jade slip that was obviously specially made, and crushed it. Why? The other woman couldn't help sighing when she saw this. I didn't expect to ask him for help so soon. We're still 2 people together. Huaner and Tianwu, who are wandering outside alone, may not have asked him for help now. Almost at the moment when his sigh fell. Call. In the void, within the encirclement, it was as if a gust of wind had blown by. Immediately afterwards, the space vibrated and twisted for a while, and then a phantom appeared, which gradually solidified and turned into a substantial figure. How is it? Is it fun outside during this time? The figure that appeared was a purple figure, a tall young man with a handsome appearance, sword eyebrows and star eyes. After he appeared, even though he was in the encirclement, he still had calm eyes, as if he completely ignored the group of people who were staring at him, and looked at the 2 women beside him and asked with a smile. I was careless this time, and being a sorrel didn't work. One of the women, with some helplessness, took off the veil on her face, revealing a peerless face, and said with a wry smile, while looking at the young man in purple with tenderness, Brother Tian. The other woman also took off her veil, revealing the same dizzyingly beautiful face. This face, once revealed without the veil, seemed to make everything around her pale in color. And this scene also made the middle-aged man headed by the group of onlookers frown uncontrollably. What a beautiful woman! However, now he has no time to watch these things. His eyes fell on the mysterious purple-clothed youth, and he cupped his hands and asked, "Your Excellency, you." However, before he finished speaking, the void around him was already distorted, and then violently shook, and then his whole body was blown to pieces by the gust of wind like paper swaying in the wind. This weird scene also made the expressions of the remaining group of people change. They even had time to raise the idea of escape, but before they took action, they saw a terrifying space storm, like a stormy sea, sweeping away in all directions with the young man in purple at the center. When this space storm passed by the two girls beside the young man in purple, it was like a ray of light passing by them, without any real impact on them. Then, when he rolled towards the surrounding people, he ruthlessly strangled them all. In an instant, the spacious canyon was filled with a pungent smell of blood. The young man in purple frowned, raised his hand casually, and disappeared in place with the second daughter, appeared again already outside the canyon. "How is it? Do you want to continue to practice outside?" The young man in purple is none other than Duan Lingtian. As for the two women beside him, they are his wife Kir and Li Fei. The last time the four girls around him chose to leave his side and go out to practice, Huaner and Feng Tianwu chose to go alone, while Kir and Li Fei chose to go together. "Of course, continue," Li Fei said with bright eyes. "Outside, it's still very interesting. Anyway, the land of the gods is a small world inside your body. You can show up at any time, and we don't have to worry about any danger. Brother Tian, Sister Fair, and I will go outside for a while, and then we will go back to accompany you." Kir's pretty face was smiling like a flower, bright and moving. "All right." Duan Lingtian smiled and nodded. "Look back. If you miss me, you can also call me to show up. You don't have to wait until you are in danger to come to me." "Good," Kerr responded. Li Fei shook her head. "No. Before we separated from Huaner and Tianwu, we made a bet with Huaner and Tianwu. After we agreed to go back later, whoever came to you for help would be the most likely." "What are you betting on?" Duan Lingtian smiled helplessly. "These four girls. Are there such little tricks behind their backs?" "He knows nothing. I won't tell you." Li Fei smiled mysteriously with a playful look, just like when he was with Li Fei in the secular plane in the past, and Duan Lingtian's thoughts returned to that time in an instant. Time flies, so many years have passed in a blink of an eye. At that time, it was the startup period, every step of the way, and the situation was difficult. But now, the air is filled with the taste of whatever you want. "Then I'm leaving now?" Duan Lingtian asked with a smile, originally thought that the two daughters would keep him for a while, but they didn't expect that they were having a good time and wished that he would leave. Of course, he also knew, mainly because they could see him anytime. Unlike before, it was hard to imagine. What's more, they are waiting hard for him to return from outside. Not long after separating from the second daughter, Duan Lingtian received a message from Xiao Mubai. After reading it, he couldn't help but frown. One dead and one missing? Xiao Mubai told him in the subpoena that one of the two superpowers guarding one of the normal gates of Nishan realm was killed and the other disappeared. The opponent's movements were extremely fast and neat, and it was already too late when Xiao Mubai arrived. Chapter 46:15. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang took a walk together after receiving the summons. Through the traces on the body of the dead, the two quickly determined. The person who made the shot was an existence whose cultivation level was at the same level as theirs. But now, in this piece of heaven and earth, except for some powerful creatures in the mysterious land shrouded in fog in some special planes, and the existence of the strongest seventh-level existence announced by the Tao of Heaven, besides them, there are only two other people. Meng Han, it is definitely impossible to do such a thing, and he has no motive. Then, there is only one possibility, region. It's Lei Hong. Xiao Mubai's complexion darkened. His eyes flickered coldly. He didn't expect the other party to be so bold, rushing to this portal of Nishan realm to kill people. Originally, he also thought that Lei Hong might come to Nishan realm to make a fuss and take revenge on Duan Lingtian. But I didn't expect that the other party was so cautious and only chose to sneak attack. At the same time, Xiao Mubai was also a little powerless deep in his heart, feeling that even if an existence like Lei Hong faced the opponent directly, he would not be able to do anything to him and would be killed by the opponent instead. At this moment, he made up his mind, and then he will retreat and attack the realm of the world. With his background, plus the last time he listened to Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang give lectures, and asked them a lot of questions about the four ways of heaven and earth in private, he is only a step away from the realm of respect. However, because of the presence of Duan Lingtian and Zhang Shan, who is Jesuan, he has not been in a hurry to break through. Of course, the main reason is that I was worried that the people of the Zhang family would not get used to coming to the god-defying realm recently, so I spent so much time taking care of them that I didn't have much time to retreat. The pattern is too small. Feng Qingyang shook his head. Those two people, although they are people against the god realm, they have no close relationship with you. Shouta. Lei Hong, what's the point of killing them? Duan Lingtian at the side shook his head at this moment. Master, I think the other person should not be dead for the time being. 9 times out of 10. Lei Hong did this to understand everything about me better, so that he can take revenge on me later. Even if another Xian was killed by Lei Hong without leaving any traces, it is impossible to dissipate all the breath in a short time. Duan Lingtian can confirm that only one person died at the scene not long ago. Because of this, he guessed that Lei Hong had kidnapped another person and wanted to torture him for information about him. Before taking revenge on him, you must first understand him. Just as Duan Lingtian thought. It was Lei Hong who abducted the missing strongest man from the god-defying realm. As for the purpose, one is to understand Duan Lingtian, and the other is to ask the other party if he knows Duan Lingshan's purpose in looking for the person named Yun Xinfeng. The most powerful person in the god-defying realm who was taken away saw his old friend who was on duty with him killed with his own eyes, and his face turned pale with fright. After confirming the identity of the kidnapper, he was in despair. Region. It turned out to be him? Lei Hong, of course he knows who it is. He is a super strong man in the Mingguang realm of the upper 3 realms. A few years ago, he stepped into the extreme 7th level, and became the 4th existence after the history cut off. As for Lei Hong's attack on him, it's not difficult for him to guess. It must be because Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm went to the Bright Light realm to kill the 2 powerful men of the sect behind Lei Hong. He had heard that one of the 2 powerhouses who fell from Lei Hong's sect was still a world-venerable powerhouse. So he knew he was done. It was also because of this that he had the will to die. No matter what Lei Hong asked him, he didn't answer Lei Hong because he knew that he would die, so why should he cooperate with the other party? If it wasn't for the power in his body being forcibly suppressed by Lei Hong, he would have chosen to commit suicide a long time ago. Humph! I don't believe your mouth can be so hard all the time. In Lei Hong's hands, there is no such soul-searching secret method that Duan Lingtian got from Wukong's memory that can target the strongest, but he still has the soul-refining secret method. Next, he began to torment the strongest person in the God against God realm. At first, the opponent could hold on, but with the passage of time, he couldn't hold it anymore. He couldn't hold his tongue any longer, so he could only express his willingness to cooperate with Lei Hong, and only hoped that Lei Hong would give him a happy ending afterwards. Isn't it enough to do this earlier? What a cheap bone. Lei Hong disdains. And then, Lei Hong also learned some information about Duan Lingtian from the other party. Even the information about Yun Xinfeng that he wants to know the most right now, he got it. Duan Lingshan's wife is the daughter of the Xia family, the land left by the gods. Yun Xinfeng, formerly known as Yun Qingyan, used to be the young master of the Yun family, who was left by the gods, and Duan Lingtian was a sworn enemy. He was expelled from the house by the Yun family many years ago, and merged with the remnant souls of the Hun clan. Freshman, renamed Yun Xinfeng. Lei Hong was a little disappointed. I thought that there was some amazing secret hidden behind Yun Xinfeng, but I didn't expect that it was just a simple revenge. Just because Yun Xinfeng caused Duan Lingshan's wife, Xia Ningxue, daughter of the Xia family, to be imprisoned for many years. Duan Lingtian in the Nishan realm is actually only connected with one faction of his wife's family? He doesn't have a sect or a family? Lei Hong frowned. In other words, if he wanted to take revenge on Duan Lingtian, he could only get revenge on Duan Lingtian from the Xia family, which is a sacred place in the Nishan realm. As for killing other people, Duan Lingtian may not be upset. Of course, if he could kill those half-step world venerables from the Nishan realm, that would be fine. He didn't believe that Duan Lingtian didn't care about those upper-level powerhouses from the Nishan realm. It's a pity. I don't know where Yun Xinfeng is. Otherwise, you can. Wrong. Duan Lingtian can ask someone to find Yun Xinfeng. So can I. If I can find that Yun Xinfeng first, let him follow me and make Duan Lingtian helpless to him, wouldn't Duan Lingtian be off? Ha 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 ha. Thinking of this, Lei Hong raised his hand and killed the most powerful person in front of him, and then went to the outside world, wandering around at the fastest speed. When he left the land outside the realm and returned to the Mingguang realm, everywhere in the outside world, a piece of news has spread and fermented at an extremely fast speed. Duan Lingtian, the strong man of the Nishan realm, wants to find out the enemy who used to be in the gods' remains of the Nishan realm in the 10,000 realms and beyond, and change his name to Yun Xinfeng's Yun Qinyan. Lei Hong, a strong man in the Mingguang realm, deliberately targeted Duan Lingtian and said that if he has the opportunity to meet Yun Qinyan, he will try his best to keep Yun Qinyan safe. As soon as these news spread, Meng Han, the patriarch of Bibo Tianfu, changed his face instantly when he received the news. He didn't expect that it didn't take long for him to let someone secretly search for Yun Qinyan in a low-key manner, and someone immediately exposed this matter. Moreover, it was obviously Lei Hong's handwriting. Chapter 46:16. If it's just a group of powerful people from the myriad realms and the outer boundaries, making unannounced visits to find Yun Qinjian's trace, Yun Qinyan may not know about it before he is discovered. But as this matter spread in the outside world, as long as Yun Qinyan was in the outside world, it would be impossible for him not to know. Unless he happened to be in the closed door and didn't know what happened outside. Brother Duan Lingtian. Meng Han hurriedly found Duan Lingshan's legal avatar in Bibo Tianfu, and told him about the rumors that had spread outside. Lei Hong intervened in this matter. His intention of doing this is obviously not to let you find the other party. Obviously trying to scare the snake on purpose. After hearing what Meng Han said, even if it was just Duan Lingshan's clone of a law, his complexion was frighteningly gloomy. Region? This was something he never expected. As for why Lei Hong did such a thing, it must have something to do with the strongest man who was kidnapped by him. Lei Hong must have learned some details about him from the other party's mouth, and also learned about the hatred between Yun Qinyan, who was renamed Yun Xinfeng, whom he was looking for, and him. The most important thing is that Lei Hong knew that he was working hard to find Yun Qinyan, Duan Lingshan's time law avatar. After leaving the land outside the boundary, returned across the boundary, and returned to the body of the deity, Duan Lingshan's eyes burst out with a cold luster in an instant. Region, it's best not to let me stare at your real body. Otherwise you will definitely die. He knew very well in his heart that as long as Yun Qinyan found out that he was looking for him wantonly, he would definitely hide. If I want to find Yun Qinyan later, I'm afraid it will be more difficult than climbing to the sky. In a few days, Duan Lingtian received the news that whether it was the upper 3 realms or the major realms of the middle 18 realms, the news that he wanted to hunt down and kill Yun Qinyan began to spread widely. There was even news that Lei Hong wanted to protect Yun Qinyan. At this time, the circles of the strongest in the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms were also stirred up because of the widespread of these news. Lei Hong. This is to completely tear Duan Lingtian apart. I actually think that when Duan Lingtian killed Qinghong Shangzong Jesuin in the Mingguang realm, even if this hatred is completely forged, it will never end. The person Duan Lingtian wanted to search and kill, Lei Hong threatened to keep him. If these two meet in the future, a life and death battle will inevitably be inevitable. Now, there are only 4 people in the 7th level Xian announced by the Heavenly Tao. The 2 of them stood on opposite sides. Apart from being horrified, they were also very curious. If these 2 people really faced each other in the future, who would win and who would lose in a life and death confrontation? Is it Duan Lingtian, a rising star in the Nishan realm, or Lei Hong, a veteran and strong man in the Mingguang realm? Many people are even more eager for the two to confront each other immediately and have a showdown to the death. Lei Hong, who had finished spreading the news, returned to the Mingguang realm again, with a cold smile on his face. Duan Lingtian, since you choose to be my enemy, Lei Hong, you must be prepared to be targeted by my Lei Hong. Snort! If it wasn't for the existence of another 7th level Xian in your Nishan realm, I would go to Nishan realm and have a good arm wrestle with you to see if your strength is as strong as your character. From Lei Hong's point of view, if Duan Lingtian can still find Yun Qinyan after he disrupted the situation like this, then he really has seen a ghost. Because of this, he guessed that Duan Lingtian must be unhappy now, and he was very happy. The Outer Worlds. In the depths of a swamp, a light and shadow flitted across the sky in the distance, and came here in a blink of an eye, lurking in the dark. Whoosh! Whoosh! Not long after, in the void above, two figures passed by hand in hand, with spiritual consciousness covering the surroundings, as if they were probing for something. After sweeping through with his spiritual sense, he didn't notice anything strange in the depths of the swamp, and gradually drifted away. At this time, a figure slowly walked out from the depths of the swamp. Almost fell. This is a young man with a thin figure and a somewhat gloomy face. After wiping the blood stains from the corner of his mouth with his hand, his eyes were cold and his face was gloomy. He, none other than Yun Qinyan, who changed his name to Yun Xinfeng. On the same day, when he saw the text of the Tao of Heaven, announcing that Duan Lingtian had stepped into the 7th level of the strongest and became an existence beyond saints and world venerables, he was shocked and full of jealousy. However, later, he comforted himself psychologically that it must be someone with the same name and surname. However, he couldn't help but confirm it in the end. The result of the confirmation was actually that Duan Lingtian, it was really the Duan Lingtian he knew. He wished he could kill Duan Lingtian soon after. At that moment, he felt that the thing he regretted the most in his life was that he didn't kill Duan Lingtian when Duan Lingtian was so oppressed that he couldn't lift his head in the secular plane. At that time, it was so easy for him to kill Duan Lingtian. He could even kill Duan Lingtian with a single breath. It's a pity because at that time his cousin's reincarnation desperately protected Duan Lingtian, and he didn't pay much attention to Duan Lingtian, so he didn't kill Duan Lingtian. He never thought that the ants in his eyes would catch up with him one day, and even surpass him by far. If I had known earlier, I should have killed Duan Lingtian recklessly back then. This time, he just knew that Duan Lingtian was making people look for him. What's more, he was almost killed by those two powerhouses just now. Those two people are his acquaintances in the outside world, and they have done a lot of big business with them, but they didn't expect that when they received the news, they learned that the Xian number 1 from Bibo Tianfu Menghan, the 7th-rank powerhouse, was looking for him, and after promising great benefits, he chose to join forces to deal with him. He intends to capture him and send him to Bibo Tianfu in exchange for Menghan's favor. Fortunately, before the two were ready to attack at the critical moment, he heard the news that Duan Lingtian was looking for him, and the news that Lei Hong wanted to protect him, so he became vigilant. It was also because he became vigilant that when the two men attacked him, he was prepared and escaped smoothly. Otherwise, I am afraid that they have been held hostage by two people who were seriously injured and are on the way to Bibo Tianfu. Duan Lingtian. Want to kill me? It's not that easy. After avoiding the pursuit of those two people, Yun Xinfeng decided to temporarily leave the land outside the boundary, hide in the 10,000 realm, find a small realm to temporarily settle down, and avoid the limelight. As for the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms, he didn't dare to mess around. Those realms have a large array of guardians, and they can be sensed and discovered at the first time if there is an intrusion by the strongest. But then Lei Hong isn't the strong man in the Mingguang realm, one of the 3 realms in the 10,000 realms, also the existence of the 7th level Xian? Threaten to help me? He has a grudge against Duan Lingtian. Chapter 46:17. Back in 10,000 realms, after finding a small realm to hibernate, Yun Xinfeng didn't stay idle, and went out with the clone of law, wearing a bamboo hat to cover his dull eyes. so that people could not see that it was the clone of Law. The Law avatar went out to investigate, and he also learned about the grievances between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong. Duan Lingtian destroyed Lei Hong's avatar of a Law in the Feathering Realm. Afterwards, go to the forces behind Lei Hong, Qinghong Shangzong of Mingguang Realm, intending to join hands with his master Feng Qingyang to destroy Lei Hong himself. Lei Hong avoided it first, but he still killed the current suzerain of the Qinghong sacred sect, as well as a Jesuin of the Qinghong sacred sect. Now, he finally understood why Lei Hong released the news to help him. It turns out that there is such an enmity between Lei Hong and Duan Lingtian. It's a pity. There's no way to blatantly seek refuge with that master Lei Hong. Otherwise, with his protection, it would be difficult for Duan Lingtian to kill me. Although Yun Xinfeng felt it was a pity, he also knew that he could not take the risk of contacting Lei Hong. If he made a wrong step, it might be a catastrophe. Now, there must be more people wanting to curry favor with Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian is a rising star, younger, and has greater potential in the future. He has stepped into the 7th level of Xian, and he did not rely on the Tian Dao talisman. In addition, Duan Lingshan's master, Feng Qingyang, is another strongest 7th level existence in the Nishan realm. The wind is blowing. Thinking of Feng Qingyang, Yun Xinfeng felt depressed again. Back then when he was Yun Qingyan, the young master of the Yun family, although he didn't kill Duan Lingtian because he was concerned about his cousin Xia Ningxue, he also sent someone to kill Feng Qingyang. But unexpectedly, the old beast missed. Otherwise, how could it be such a situation now? Who would have thought that the two who were like ants in his eyes in the past would become the most powerful existences in the god-defying realm today? You don't even need to do it yourself, just a word, and the Yun family, the place where the gods left him in the past, can be wiped out. The two Xians who had turned against Yun Xinfeng tracked them down for a while, and after confirming that Yun Xinfeng had escaped, disappointed, they still took a trip to Bibo Tianfu. Informed Bibo Tianfu of some information about Yun Xinfeng that they knew. It also includes several footholds in the 3 caves of the rabbit in Yunxin Peak. However, on Bibo Tianfu's side, even if they sent a half-sage to follow up, after a period of time, they still found nothing. Obviously, it is unlikely that Yun Xinfeng will appear in these places again. The thread is broken. However, after the incident, Meng Han still took a trip to the Nishan realm and informed Duan Lingtian. After Duan Lingtian found out, he was not surprised. When he knew that Lei Hong was spreading the news that he was going to hunt down and kill Yun Xinfeng, he knew that unless someone first pinpointed Yun Xinfeng's existence, or even captured him, otherwise he would have to fight against Bai Deng if he wanted to find Yun Xinfeng. God is still difficult. We can only talk about it later. In the memory of the old man Wukong, there is a secret method of bloodline tracing that can only be performed by the strong 9th level powerhouse. It can use the blood essence of a person's blood relatives within 3 generations to trace and lock that person's whereabouts across borders. Because of this, although Duan Lingtian was angry at Lei Hong's behavior, he was not too upset. As long as he steps into the 9th level of Xian, he can cast that secret method and trace back and lock Yun Qingyan's position across boundaries. A few days ago, he took a trip to Yun's house and took away a few drops of blood from Yun Qingyan's blood relatives who were still alive and stored them for later use. Now, finding Yun Qingyan is only a matter of time. He is not in a hurry. Boom! On this day, in Nishan realm, there was a sudden violent vibration and roar, resounding in all directions. The creatures on all the planes of the gods can clearly hear a loud noise. At the same time, in one direction of the Nishan realm, colorful rays of light appeared, dazzling and eye-catching. What is that? A vision from the sky? Could it be that there is a treasure born there? The birth of a treasure? I think it looks like a breakthrough by a strong man. I have read an ancient book, and this scene is somewhat similar to the above record. It is about the vision of someone breaking through and stepping into the world. All over the Nishan realm, eyes fell on the place where the rays of light appeared, and all of them were attracted to them. Before this, Duan Lingtian, who was in a courtyard of the Xia family mansion, had already sensed the movement there, immediately rose from the sky, looked over there, and a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Lord Shao finally made a breakthrough. Even if the distance is far away, he can still be sure that this is the breakthrough of the World Master Shao Mubai. With the background of World Master Shao, stepping into the realm of World Venerable this time, his strength is probably not weaker than that of Zhang Shan. Duan Lingtian secretly thought. Since he stepped into the 7th level of Xian, besides his family and friends, the most common person is Shao Mubai, the lord of the god-defying realm. Although he knew that Shao Mubai kept asking him for advice, it was tantamount to pulling his wool, but he didn't care. After all, when he was in his infancy, the World Master Shao had given him great help. Say nothing else. It is said that before he left the Nishan realm and stepped into the outer world, the pool of divine Yunquan he got provided him with great help when he just entered the outer world. The grace of dripping water should be repaid by the spring. This has always been Duan Lingshan's code of conduct. After getting along for a period of time, he also knew Shao Mubai's insider background very well. He knew that although he was the power of many half-step world venerables in the Nishan realm, but in real fights, absolutely no other half-step world venerables could be against him. His opponent. At the same time, a group of figures walked out from various places in the Nishan realm and rushed towards the land of rays of light. They were indeed a group of powerful people from the Nishan realm. Congratulations to World Master Shao, stepping into the realm of World Venerable. Congratulations, Lord Shao. Now, not only the other half-step world lords from the Nishan realm have arrived, but even Zhang Shan, an outside world lord, has rushed to the scene with a few half-step world lords from the Zhang family and greeted Shao Mubai, who had just broken through. Congratulate. After Shao Mubai broke through, his hands itched unbearably. Seeing Zhang Shan present, Lai Xinqi immediately said, "Brother Zhang, I just made a breakthrough and I haven't fully familiarized myself with Xinli yet. You and I have a game to help me get acquainted with the new force." How? Zhang Shan laughed when he heard the words, "Happy to help." Immediately, the eyes of the half-step world venerables and a group of powerful people around them all brightened up. I think this is the right time. Originally, they just came to congratulate the World Lord Shao Mubai for his breakthrough, but they didn't expect to have the opportunity to witness the two world venerable powerhouses compete with each other. This is a very rare opportunity for them to observe on the spot. Duan Lingtian received a message from Shao Mubai at this time, inviting him to host the match between Shao Mubai and Zhang Shan, so that they can have a hearty battle. Chapter 46:18. Duan Lingtian agreed. At the same time, he greeted his third uncle Xiajie and his father-in-law Xiaoyu. Both of them were very interested, so he took them with him. Since Kir woke up, under Kir's mediation, the relationship between him and Xiaoyu has eased a lot. Anyway, this is Kir's father. Not to mention anything else, let's just say that for Kir's sake, some things in the past should not be blamed on the other party. I wanted to call the ancestor, but I didn't expect that the ancestor was already there. On the way, Xiajie said with a smile. Just now, he sent a message to the supreme ancestor of the Xia family, but the other party responded that he was already at the scene, waiting for his nephew Duan Lingtian to preside over the discussion. A group of powerful people from the god-defying realm are all waiting. I, Xiajie, am also indirectly counted in the waiting list? Glancing at Duan Lingtian beside him, Xiajie's vanity suddenly increased. Compared to Xiajie's escape, Xiaoyu seemed much calmer. Of course, the heart is not peaceful. However, in front of the son-in-law, he really couldn't be as casual as his third brother. After all, he did not do well in various ways in the past. Only my third younger brother usually seems to be dissolute, but he never thought that when he finally looked back, he was the one with the best eyesight. Master Shao's breakthrough, the most powerful person in the god-defying realm, unless they have something to do, they probably all went over to congratulate. Duan Lingtian laughed. Shao Mubai, the world master of the Anai God realm, is different from the other world masters of the Anai God realm. Those world masters have seldom shown up in recent years, and they are all seeking breakthroughs and wanting to go further. Because, in the recent 10,000 years of catastrophe, they all began to feel strenuous. If there is no way to go further, there will be 2 more cataclysms, and they probably won't be able to bear it. Because of this, in recent years it has been Xiao Mubai who has been presiding over various affairs of the god-defying realm. Even if it is a meeting of the most powerful, it is Xiao Mubai who is organizing and presiding over it. Knowing Xiao Mubai's breakthrough, a group of extremely powerful people who deal with Xiao Mubai on weekdays, why not go to congratulate him? Soon, Duan Lingtian brought Xia Jie and Xia Yu to the scene. Master Duan Lingtian. Master Duan Lingtian. A group of supreme beings from the Nishan realm saluted Duan Lingtian respectfully when they saw Duan Lingtian appear. At this time, Duan Lingtian also discovered that behind many of the most powerful people, there were still some people, and 9 out of 10 were their juniors and juniors, who came to watch the Battle of the World Venerable together. But, can they see Jizen's movements clearly? With this thought, Duan Lingtian thought of Xia Jie and Xia Yu who he had brought over, and was relieved for a moment. Xia Jie and Xia Yu must also not be able to see Jiezun's movements clearly. The reason why they are interested may be more because they feel that it is a great honor to be on the occasion of the World Venerable Battle. Little brother. After Duan Lingtian greeted Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan, a sudden and pleasant voice came from not far away, attracting Duan Lingshan's attention. When Duan Lingtian heard the words, he looked over at a glance, and soon saw 3 familiar figures. It is the 3 people from the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. The 2nd senior brother Hong Yifeng, the 3rd senior brother Yang Yuchen, and the 4th senior sister Lang Chunyuan. It was Lang Chunyuan who greeted him. 4th senior sister. Duan Lingtian greeted her with a smile. This 4th senior sister, after he stepped into the 7th level of Xian and returned to the god-defying realm, he went to the Wanfa Academy. At that time, she was left alone in the inner palace. The 2nd senior brother Hong Yifeng and the 3rd senior brother Yang Yuchen were not there. According to what the 4th senior sister said, the 2 senior brothers had gone to a place outside the boundary. It was taken away by the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan. Although it is known that he has become the 2nd strongest existence of the 7th level after the historical cutoff, and can be called invincible, but this 4th senior sister still does not change her original intention and calls him a junior brother. Make him feel gracious. After all, since he has achieved what he is today, except for his relatives and family members, few people can treat him as freely as they did in the past. At that time, he stayed in the inner palace of Wanfa Academy for a few days, and gave this 4th senior sister some treasures that were helpful to her cultivation, as well as a supreme power. Only then left. Before leaving, he also said hello to the other party. If you encounter any trouble, you can go to the Xia family, the land of the gods, to find him. Duan Lingtian also has different feelings for the inner palace lineage of Wanfa Academy. Not only this little senior sister, but those 2 senior brothers also helped him a lot in his growth. Can be said that he is able to have what he is today all thanks to them. 2nd senior brother, 3rd senior brother. Duan Lingtian greeted Lang Chunyuan with a smile, while looking at Hong Yifeng and Yang Yuchen. Not seen for many years, Hong Yifeng hasn't changed much. On the contrary, Yang Yuchen's aura is even more dusty, and there is a kind of sublimation in temperament. Presumably it is a breakthrough in the 4 realms of heaven and earth. Little brother. Yang Yuchen greeted with a smile. He was the one who invited Duan Lingtian to enter the inner palace of Wanfa Academy back then. Can be said that he and Duan Lingtian are the most familiar. In addition, when he came back recently, he heard the 4th junior sister talk about the return of this little junior, so he didn't intend to increase the sense of distance between himself and this little junior. Small. The 2nd senior brother Hong Yifeng seemed to be a little hesitant, and carefully glanced at the leading woman in front of him. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the other party. 3rd junior brother, 4th junior sister, you are too rude. This is one of the only 2 7th-level powerhouses in our god-defying realm. We must respectfully call you master. The one who spoke was the woman standing in front of Yang Yuchen, Lang Chunyuan and Hong Yifeng. The woman was tall, with a pretty and dashing appearance. She wore a white robe, long hair like a waterfall, and had an extraordinary temperament. Huangfu Mengyuan, I have met Lord Duan Lingtian. After the woman rebuked Yang Yuchen and Lang Chunyuan, she respectfully saluted Duan Lingtian. Her eyes seemed calm, but Duan Ling Tian still caught some waves deep in her eyes. It is obvious that the heart is not as peaceful as the surface. Turned out to be the elder sister. Duan Ling Tian had already guessed the identity of this woman just now. She should be the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan from the inner line of the Wanfa Academy that he had never met before. Elder sister, there is no need to be so polite between us senior sisters and brothers. No matter how high or low my cultivation level is today, I am still a junior from the inner lineage of the Wanfa Academy. Duan Ling Tian said with a smile. Before Huangfu Mengyuan could speak, Lang Chunyuan had already said, "Elder sister, I told you a long time ago, junior brother won't care about these cliché etiquette. The last time I was alone at home, he came back to me and the two senior brothers. Although his temperament has changed drastically, his temperament is still the same as before. The junior brother is still the same junior brother and has never changed." Chapter 46:19. Although Duan Ling Tian had never come into contact with the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan in the past. However, from the mouths of the third senior brother Yang Yuchen and the fourth senior sister Lang Chunyuan, I knew what kind of person this senior sister is. Therefore, he has always respected this elder sister. Maybe it's I Wujuwu. This senior sister has stepped into the realm of the strongest? Duan Ling Tian discovered this when he came here just now. Huangfu Mengyuan seems to be already a powerful person, and it is estimated that she is not an ordinary powerful person. It gives people the same feeling as Xiao Mubai before the breakthrough. Since you have said so, little junior brother, then I won't be polite to you. Huangfu Mengyuan's gaze towards Duan Ling Tian also softened a lot in an instant, and said with a smile, "They are all brothers and sisters of the same sect, so there is no need for politeness." Duan Ling Tian was also friendly, with a refreshing smile on his face. At this time, Xiao Mubai came over and said with a smile, "Lord Duan Ling Tian, originally I wanted to introduce you to this new semi-saint powerhouse of our God-defying realm, but I didn't expect you to say hello first. Yes, you are still brothers and sisters of the same sect. You are a great elder sister. Before you broke through to the strongest realm, you actually became an invincible upper god, and you also comprehended the way of devouring in the four ways of heaven and earth to the fifth level. The invincible high-ranking deities have at least comprehended one law to the state of Dzogchen, and if the fifth level of heaven, earth, and four ways are added, they can be called the top among the invincible high-ranking deities. Such an existence, once stepping into the realm of the strongest, is directly a half-step world venerable. When introducing Huangfu Mengyuan, Xiao Mubai's eyes were also very complicated. Huangfu Mengyuan was also a rising star that he had paid attention to very early on, even before Duan Ling Tian and Feng Qingyang paid attention to Huangfu Mengyuan. If there is no Duan Ling Tian and Feng Qingyang in this era, Huangfu Mengyuan is definitely thriving. It's a pity that she was not very lucky, dancing with two real evildoers at the same time, the original talent of the evildoer unparalleled, but it seems not very top-notch. It was only today that I found out that she broke through to the strongest state in the outer world, and came back with the strength of a half-step world venerable. While Xiao Mubai sighed, he looked relieved. From now on, we have one more half-step world venerable in the Nishan realm. Besides, I'm afraid it won't take long for her to catch up with me and step into the realm of venerable realm. After all, she is much younger than me. Xiao Mubai is really optimistic about Huangfu Mengyuan. As soon as Xiao Mubai finished his sentence, before Duan Ling Tian could respond, the attention of a group of powerful people against the God realm present were all attracted by Huangfu Mengyuan. Half-step world venerable? This one turned out to be a half-step world venerable? How could such a terrifying evildoer come out of the inner palace of the Wanfa Academy? Duan Ling Tian is fine, but now there is another Huangfu Mengyuan. It's outrageous. Congratulations, big sister. You have made a breakthrough and become a half-step world venerable. Duan Ling Tian came back to his senses and congratulated Huangfu Mengyuan repeatedly. Before that, the elder sister he learned from the two senior brothers was the stronger high-ranking deity. But I didn't expect that it turned out to be an invincible high-ranking god, and some time ago, he stepped into the strongest realm and became a half-step world venerable. You are incomparable with the younger brother. Huangfu Mengyuan shook her head. Little brother, when you step into the 7th level of the strongest and let the heavens tell the world for you, I am still just a high-ranking god. If you and Master Feng Qingyang hadn't stepped into the 7th level of Xian one after another, causing the heaven to lower the Tiantian Tower, even if I encountered an opportunity to step into the Xian some time ago, I probably wouldn't touch it, let alone step on it. Into Xian. In the past, although she was an invincible high-ranking god, she was not in a hurry to step into the strongest realm, because she wants to challenge the forbidden realm heavenly tribulation at the level of the upper gods. Although, in the history of the myriad realms and even the outer worlds, all the high-ranking gods who tried the taboo realm of the heavenly tribulation all died under the heavenly tribulation, but she still wanted to try it. Once she successfully passes through, she will break the shackles and become the first existence to survive the taboo realm after the historical partition, and she is expected to achieve the 7th level of the strongest, surpassing Jesuan and saints. However, just in the process of her efforts, suddenly one day, the text of the Way of Heaven appeared and told her, there is someone who has already been one step ahead of her. With the cultivation base of a higher god, he has survived the taboo realm, and even Tiandao said that he is expected to become the first 7th-level powerhouse after the history is cut off. And this person was no stranger to her, who had 2 junior brothers by her side at that time. Duan Lingtian from the anti-god realm. This is her little junior whom she has never met. The junior brother of the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. It was Yang Yuchen, the 3rd junior brother who knew the pearl with his eyes, and brought back the potential stocks of the inner palace lineage of the Wanfa Academy. Of course, even her 3rd junior brother Yang Yuchen never dreamed that their little junior brother would one day walk ahead of her senior sister. At that time, she was shocked. In this era she was living in, there was such a crucial step taken by a high-ranking deity. She sees hope. The dawn is now. Lead her forward. What she didn't expect was that not long after, another person survived the taboo realm, and he did so as a middle-level god, and he also came from the god-defying realm like her. According to what her 3rd junior brother said, this person has the same name and surname as the junior brother's master, and 9 times out of 10 they are the same person. At that moment, in addition to being shocked in her heart, she couldn't help but feel a kind of, since she was born in heaven and yang, how could she be born in Mengyuan? Thoughts. After that, she watched the words of the Tao of Heaven appear again, announcing that the 2 had entered the 7th level of the strongest one after another, becoming existences above saints and world venerables. She is already prepared, even if the call of the most powerful realm comes again, she will refuse all of them, just because she wants to be like her little brother, with the cultivation base of a higher to survive the catastrophe of the taboo realm. Because, with the cultivation base of the strongest realm, it is almost impossible to survive the catastrophe of the taboo realm. The difficulty is recognized to be greater than that of the upper gods. Some people even bluntly said that the comparison between the 2 is a world of difference. Otherwise, after the history is cut off, it is impossible that no such existence was born. Not long after, the Tiantian Pagoda appeared, and the Amulet of Heaven came, and then there was a saint from a place outside the world, and a world venerable from 1,000 realms successfully passed the taboo realm. At that moment, she knew that even if she became the strongest, she still had the hope of taking that step. Therefore, the call of the most powerful realm appeared later, and she accepted the guidance, stepped into the most powerful realm, and became a half-step world lord. Chapter 46-20. Miss Elder Master is absurd. I'm just lucky. After Duan Lingtian smiled lightly, he looked at Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan at the side and said, after the discussion between Lord Xiao and the others is over, I will have a good talk with my senior sisters and senior brothers. Good. Huangfu Mengyuan also nodded with a chuckle. Her purpose of coming this time was naturally to witness the exchange between Realm Master Xiao and Jesuan Zhongshan, who came from the Ascension Realm. It is not always possible to see the world respecting each other. At least, she had never seen it with her own eyes. Master Duan Lingtian, in fact, We are not in a hurry, you seniors and brothers can talk about the past first. Zhang Shan said repeatedly, extremely humble. This is Lord Duan Lingtian. Not only is he powerful, but he also saved his life. Wait a minute, what happened? He's okay. Yeah, we can discuss it later. Xiao Mubai also followed suit. No, it's fine for me and my senior sister and senior brother to go back and talk about the past in private. As Duan Lingshan's words fell, a group of the most powerful people in the god-defying realm around him dispersed to watch, their eyes filled with anticipation. Although this Duan Lingtian and others reminisce about the old days in public, they have no objection. However, he did not forget the purpose of this trip. Watch the battle of the world soon. Under the auspices of Duan Lingtian, Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan entered his inner body to fight in the small world. He specially allocated an area for them to have a hearty battle. Others also entered to watch the battle nearby. There is no need to hide too far. With Duan Lingtian present to protect them, everyone can clearly see the movements of Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan who are right in front of them. Of course, when the two moved fast, most people still couldn't see clearly. After all, among the people present, there were only a few people above half-step world venerables. Apart from a few old world lords, there was only one Huangfu Mengyuan who was half-step world lord. As for the others, those who are stronger than the fourth level are okay, and the rest of the strongest and those who are not even the strongest are more to feel an atmosphere. Because, when Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan moved, they couldn't see anything clearly. They only saw two afterimages flashing and crossing each other. It was ridiculously fast. Lord Xiao adapts so quickly. Several old world masters, as well as Huangfu Mengyuan, also discovered in the process that Xiao Mubai was at a disadvantage at the beginning, but as the number of rounds increased, he gradually regained the advantage. After 100 tricks, he was on par with Zhang Shan. Of course, both of them didn't use the law to clone. It was just a confrontation between the real deities. After all, it was just a competition, not a fight for life and death. But, even so, Zhang Shan is still under great pressure. Now, a group of people are watching, even Lord Duan Lingtian is present. It seems that it is impossible for him to take down a person who has just broken through to the realm of respect. But later on, he was helpless. Xiao Mubai, after getting used to it further, actually vaguely gained the upper hand. In the end, when he was thinking about whether he should use the law clone first, Xiao Mubai stopped first and said with a smile, "Brother Zhang, let's count it as a tie for you and me today. Thank you for helping me familiarize myself with the power of Jiezun today." Hearing Xiao Mubai's words, Zhang Shan's eyes immediately showed gratitude, because he could tell that Xiao Mubai was giving him face and giving him a step down. Duan Lingtian was the only one who could see this at the scene. Even Huangfu Mengyuan and other half-step world venerables only thought that Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan were really tied. Even so, they were still shocked by Xiao Mubai's history. As soon as he broke through, he was able to draw a tie with Zhang Shan, who had been famous in the upper three realms for many years, and was able to draw a tie. Zhang Shan, although he is not a top-notch world venerable in the upper three realms, he is still very famous as a world venerable, not only famous in the upper three realms, but also famous in the middle 18 realms. The most powerful people in the god-defying realm present basically knew Zhang Shan's existence long ago. A contest between Jesuin left the presence of several half-step Jesuin and the existence of the fourth-level Xian still unsatisfied, and they wished for another confrontation between the two. Of course, they also know that this match has ended, and if they want to watch the two fight again, they may have to wait until the next time the two make an appointment. Congratulations to Realm Master Xiao. You have such combat power just after entering the realm of the realm. This is my blessing against the God realm. Several old world masters congratulated Xiao Mubai one after another, and their eyes were full of envy. At the same time, they said to Xiao Mubai through sound transmission, "Master Xiao, I don't know if you can ask Lord Duan Lingtian to give us a small stove when you have time?" Xiao Mubai was able to break through so quickly. Of course, there was a reason why Xiao Mutian was more talented than them, but they also knew that it was absolutely impossible to break through so quickly with Xiao Mubai alone. Among them, a large part of the reason is because Xiao Mubai and Duan Lingtian are close. If you get close, you will naturally get the moon first. Asking some questions about cultivation and listening to the other party's sermons are just commonplace. I can only say my best. Xiao Mubai naturally didn't dare to promise. After all, even if he asked Duan Lingtian himself to ask questions, he himself felt a little embarrassed when he came down many times. Of course, he had given Duan Lingtian some help before Duan Lingtian grew up. However, those help, if you really count it seriously, Duan Lingtian has already paid it off. Now, he owes Duan Lingtian everything. Moreover, he will definitely continue to ask Duan Lingtian for advice in the future. His next goal is to enter the Tongtian Tower, pass through many checkpoints, and get the talisman of the Tao of Heaven. And then, he will hit the Xian 7th level to fulfill his father's unfulfilled dream. Therefore, the most he can do is to help a few people raise their mouths. As for the outcome, the decision rests entirely with Duan Lingtian himself. Everyone. Then I will leave first with my senior sister and senior brother. Duan Lingtian looked around at Xiao Mubai, Zhang Shan and others, nodded his head, then greeted Huangfu Mengyuan and the others, and followed them back to the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. Without disturbing the others, they directly returned to the independent plain where the inner palace lineage was located. As for Xia Jie and Xia Yu, they returned to the Xia family with the ancestor of the most powerful person in the Xia family. Junior brother, you and your master are both at the 7th level of the strongest. Your strength is about the same, or are you stronger than him? 4th senior sister Lang Chunyuan blinked her big eyes, asking Duan Lingtian like a curious baby. In fact, she wanted to ask a long time ago, but the elder sister has been staring at her, making her unable to talk. Roughly the same. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, "It is naturally impossible not to give face to his master, even if it is not the case." In the next chat with several senior brothers and sisters, Duan Lingtian lost his mind for a while. After being distracted for a moment, he came back to his senses. There was something wrong with the land left behind by the gods, but the time law avatar he stayed at Xia's side could solve it. It was his son Duan Yentian who was asking him for help. Chapter 46-21. That day, when he broke through and achieved the 7th level of cultivation, when he returned to Nishan realm to reunite with his parents and wife, his 2 children, Duan Yentian and Duan Soaring, were wandering outside. Later, they waited until they came back, and finally followed him to the land left by the gods. They were also the first to ask to venture outside. As his children, they regard him as an idol, especially after knowing that the Anishan realm Duan Lingtian announced in Tiando's text is their father. They are like chicken blood. They all want to walk a legendary road and prove to the world that a tiger father has no dog sons, and a tiger father has no dog daughters. Speaking of which, the reason why his wives wanted to make a fortune in the future was because of the influence of the 2 youngsters, and they all felt that they could not be compared by the younger generation. For a while, it made him a lonely man. Of course, they are all in the new land of gods that has been transformed into the small world in his body. If he wants to meet them, he can do so at any time, so they are allowed to go. As long as they are happy. Father, has Soaring asked you for help? Duan Lingtian never expected that his son Duan Nyanshan's first words would be like this when his Law of Time avatar arrived at the scene for the first time. This kid, is he still competing with his sister? No. Duan Lingtian didn't care whether to hit this kid or not because he had heard that in those years when he was not around, he was the most jumpy kid, and he had experienced life and death several times. As for the reason why he did this, his own mother Li Fei also told Duan Lingtian that he was not reconciled to being inferior to his sister in strength. Speaking of his daughter Duan Soaring, under the arrangement of his master Feng Qingyang, she experienced a baptism of the law of time, so that she has a deep knowledge of the law of time. In terms of cultivation, his son is not weaker than his daughter, but in terms of comprehension of the law, it is much worse. There's none? Hearing his father's words, Duan Yentian couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. Now Duan Yentian has already grown up with a tall and straight figure, sword eyebrows and star eyes. Between 6 or 7 points of the brows is similar to Duan Lingtian, and the rest is similar to his mother Li Fei. Who are you? Seeing the strange appearance of the purple-clothed youth, several people besieged and killed Duan Yentian. Their faces changed, and their eyes showed fear, because they didn't know how the other party appeared. What does that mean? It means that the opponent's strength is likely to be far above them. Didn't you hear what he called me? It was his daughter who reassured him. He didn't show up, just waited quietly for a while, and then left. If the daughter really wanted to be in danger, she would naturally crush the jade slips he gave her. When Duan Lingshan's law of time avatar returned to Xia's house, his deity also learned what happened after he left in the communication with the senior brothers and senior sisters from the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. Not long after he left the god-defying realm and went to a place outside the realm, the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan came back, took away 2 senior brothers, and took them to a place outside the realm. The younger junior sister is left alone to guard the line of the inner palace. Although this time was the first time meeting with the senior sister Huangfu Mengyuan, after some exchanges after getting to know each other, he still couldn't help but sigh how enchanting this senior sister is. Although she is a daughter, her talent is not inferior to that of a man, and the opportunities are not bad. Otherwise it would be difficult to achieve such achievements at such an age. Among the most powerful people in the Nishan realm, the world lord Xiao Mubai is considered young, and he once set a record as the youngest half-step world venerable in the Nishan realm. And now, his senior sister has undoubtedly broken this record. Little brother, tell me, I chose to break through to the most powerful realm and face the taboo realm of catastrophe. Is this the right choice? Huangfu Mengyuan asked. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, Big sister, the taboo realm heavenly tribulation faced by the high-level gods is actually not that simple. Otherwise, after the history is cut off before me, it is impossible that there is no high-level person in the world, or even the place outside the world. God Venerable succeeded in crossing the catastrophe. Duan Lingtian knew that the reason why he was able to succeed was because he had inherited this trump card that the old man Wukong had remembered all his life. Chapter 46:22. If he hadn't inherited the memory of the old man Wukong, he felt that the possibility of successfully surviving the taboo realm and the catastrophe with his cultivation as a high ranking would be less than 30%. Now, there are 3 heavenly talismans in Tongtian Pagoda. As long as you get them after stepping into the realm of Venerable Realm, Senior Sister, you will be better prepared later. It is not particularly difficult to survive the taboo realm. Duan Lingtian continued. I'm afraid there is still a lot of difficulty. Huangfu Mengyuan smiled wryly. After Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm, Fang Yifan, the top world venerable in the Feathering realm who was as famous as him, died in the Forbidden realm. Since then, no one has survived the Forbidden realm. Jia stepped into the 7th level of the strongest. Although she has just stepped into the Xian realm not long ago, she also knows a lot of news, because she also has a familiar saint in the outside world. Because she is an invincible high-ranking god, the saint was very polite to her. Even Lei Hong, it is said that after breaking through and advancing, he couldn't heal his injuries. In addition, he suffered from injuries for nearly 100 years before returning to Qinghong sect in Mingguang realm. Huangfu Mengyuan frowned slightly between her words. Just because she stepped into the strongest realm after Lei Hong successfully crossed the tribulation. Before Lei Hong, there was also a sage in the outer world who successfully took the most critical step, allowing her to see the hope of further breakthroughs for the sage in Jesuan. Unexpectedly, not long after he broke through to become a half-step world venerable, he heard that Fang Yifan, who was not weaker than Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm, had died. This blow and impact on her is not insignificant. Moreover, since then, there have been no words of the way of heaven, saying who has survived the catastrophe of the promotion. As for the sage from the outer realm who broke through before Lei Hong, he was able to break through easily and healed from his injuries after the breakthrough. It is said that it is also because he has the 4th heavenly Tao talisman. Obviously, Huangfu Mengyuan did her homework well. After listening to Huangfu Mengyuan's words, Duan Lingtian shook his head and smiled. Elder sister, actually you don't need to worry so much. Just like I said just now, after you step into the realm of realm and get the talisman of the Tao of heaven, you just need to make more preparations. Some people, because of the 10,000 years of catastrophe that the strongest must face, seeing that they can't bear it anymore, they have to face the taboo realm of catastrophe in a hurry. You are so young, what are you worried about? Then Lei Hong and Fang Yifan in the 10,000 realms are indeed top-notch world venerables. But is their strength the limit of the world venerables? Maybe not. Lei Hong is considered to be relatively young among the top world respecters. But when he was your age, did he have your strength? After you get the heavenly Tao talisman, gobble it up and step into the 7th level. You can comprehend a few more of the other laws to reach the state of lesser perfection. If conditions permit, comprehend the 2nd law to reach the state of great perfection. In this case, with the help of the avatar of the law and the help of the amulet of heaven, are you still worried that you won't be able to survive the taboo realm? To be honest, with the help of the heavenly Tao talisman, a talented Jesuan like you, with the help of the heavenly Tao talisman, really doesn't have to worry about the taboo realm of catastrophe. These Duan Lingtian not only thought of it himself but also deliberately went to understand it. As for the person to know, it is Zhang Shan, the world venerable who led his family to migrate from the Yuhua world to the Nishan world. Zhang Shan has a deep understanding of a group of world lords in the 10,000 world. According to Zhang Shan, before he and his master broke through in the past, Lei Hong was relatively young among the top world masters in the 10,000 realms. Lei Hong and the others all have the opportunity to break through other laws, increase their strength through the avatar of the law, and surpass other top world venerables in the world. Because they are still young, even the next few 10,000-year catastrophes will not pose much threat to them. Lei Hong, if he hadn't been in a hurry to face the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation last time, and had waited 10,000 to 20,000 years for a further breakthrough in strength, and then faced the forbidden realm of heavenly tribulation, not to mention easy, but it would definitely be easier than last time. As for Fang Yifan, he is actually not too old. The next 10,000-year catastrophe is not life-threatening for him. Most likely he was influenced by Lei Hong, so he rushed to go to the catastrophe, but he didn't expect to die in the end. After listening to Duan Lingshan's words, Huangfu Menjiwan's eyes lit up immediately. It has to be said that Duan Lingshan's words gave her enough confidence. Yes, she is still young now, and she has not even come to face the first 10,000 years of catastrophe as a powerhouse. She is already a half-step world venerable. As long as she swallows one step further, she is a world venerable. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian seemed to have noticed something, and suddenly raised his head to look at the sky. I saw that the originally blue sky in the small plain where the inner palace branch of the Wanfa Academy Palace was located suddenly dimmed, and there was a faint electric snake shaking in the distance. Ha ha! After I just said about Lei Hong, no one has survived the taboo realm, and I didn't expect someone to successfully cross the catastrophe so soon. Duan Lingtian laughed. He was very familiar with this kind of scene. Ever since he stepped into the strongest 7th level, his 5 senses were sharper than even Jiezun could match, and he immediately noticed the strangeness in this small plane. The scene in front of me is no different from the scene before Meng Han and Lei Hong passed through the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation, and the words of the way of heaven appeared. What does that mean? Undoubtedly, the words of the Tao of heaven are about to appear again. The appearance of the words of the way of heaven is most likely to announce who has survived the taboo realm. Who could it be? Duan Lingtian had a bit of curiosity in his eyes. At the same time, Feng Qingyang, who was in the plane of the heavens nirvana, suddenly looked up at the sky just like Duan Lingtian. He also guessed what would happen next. Is the 5th person who has survived the catastrophe of the taboo realm. I don't know if it's the world master of myriad realms, or a saint from a place outside the world. Feng Qingyang's heart moved, and there was a little more expectation in his eyes. Boom! Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's expected earth-shattering thunder sounded at the right time, disturbing all living beings in the 10,000 worlds and even the land outside the world. For a moment, everyone looked up at the sky. At this time, more people reacted. This is the heavenly Tao text will appear again. Anyone else survived the taboo realm? Who is it? This scene is not unfamiliar to everyone. Some Jesuan and saints from myriad worlds and outer worlds who have recently obtained the heavenly Tao talisman and even recovered from the injuries suffered in the Tongtian Tower, but still dare not face the taboo realm heavenly tribulation, are all showing their eyes. Under their curiosity and expectation, the horizon changes again. I saw the dark clouds in the sky parted, and a line of golden words of the Tao of Heaven appeared in front of everyone's eyes at the right time. Chapter 46:23. Congratulations to Aguli of the Hongmeng realm, with the 6th level cultivation base of the strongest, successfully passed the taboo realm, and is expected to become the 5th strongest and 7th level powerhouse after the history is cut off, surpassing Jesuin and Saints. Even though I have seen the characters of Heaven's Tao many times in the past, the appearance of the characters of Heaven's Tao this time is still shocking and horrifying. As most people guessed, someone has survived the taboo realm. Moreover, the one who succeeded in crossing the tribulation this time was the world venerable powerhouse of myriad worlds. Why is it the world venerable of myriad realms, and not the saint of our land outside the world? What's the situation? All the world venerables of myriad realms are so strong? So far, a total of 5 people have survived the taboo realm, and 4 of them are from the myriad realms. Myriad realms, is it possible that they are specially favored by the Tao of Heaven? People outside the world are all boiling at this time, thinking that this is not in line with common sense. There are 5 people, and it's okay to occupy 2 of them in the land outside the boundary. But only 1 was occupied. A world venerable of 10,000 realms has passed through the taboo realm. Wouldn't the next step be to break through immediately? Many people think so, and almost at the moment when their thoughts fell, a new heavenly Tao text appeared. Congratulations to Aguli of the Hongmeng realm. After surviving the catastrophe of the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 5th, strongest 7th level existence after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuin and Saints. It is no longer an exception to break through when you succeed in crossing the tribulation. Previously, whether it was Meng Han in the outer realm or Lei Hong in the bright light realm, they all broke through after successfully crossing the tribulation, because without exception, they were all existences of the 6th level Xian. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm were the only ones who failed to cross the catastrophe and break through, because when the 2 successfully crossed the tribulation, they were not even the strongest. It's okay for Feng Qingyang, although he didn't break through the tribulation, but he stepped into the 7th level of Xian not long after he successfully crossed the catastrophe. Only Duan Lingtian completed the breakthrough after a long time after successfully crossing the tribulation. Of course, all the existences above the upper gods basically guessed the reason. Aguli. In the small plain of the inner palace of Wanfa Academy, Duan Lingtian, who was still staying beside the 2 senior sisters and 2 senior brothers, couldn't help but raise his eyebrows when he saw the name in the Tiandao script. He has heard of this man. He is one of the top world venerables in the upper 3 realms, and he is as famous as Lei Hong and Fang Yifan. He is not even old, and is a generation younger than Lei Hong. Like Lei Hong, he is recognized as a young and top-notch world respecter in the upper 3 worlds. This Aguli. If Duan Lingtian remembered correctly, he heard from Xiao Mubai that before Fang Yifan failed to cross the catastrophe, this Aguli had already obtained the heavenly Tao talisman, but it seemed that he hadn't attracted the taboo realm for a long time. Unexpectedly, today's breakthrough was successful and a crucial step was taken. Aguli from the primordial realm should be well prepared. At this time, the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan spoke. Her eyes were shining brightly, and the depths of her eyes were full of anticipation. If it is said that the death of Fang Yifan in the feathering world has greatly weakened her confidence, well, what his junior brother Duan Lingtian said just now, and Agula's successful crossing of the tribulation in the primordial realm, gave her strong confidence. Even the confidence is greater than before at the beginning. Whether it's Lei Hong from the bright light realm or Aguli from the primordial realm, at her current age, she doesn't have her current strength at all. They can all succeed, why can't I? At the same time, all walks of life in the 10,000 realms were also shaken at this time, especially the Hongmeng realm, one of the upper 3 realms. In the upper 3 realms, Lei Hong, the top realm respecter in the Mingguang realm, was the first to break through. To a certain extent, it also put a lot of pressure on the other 2 realms. Many people speculated that Fang Yifan in the Mingguang realm probably felt the pressure, So after a period of time after Lei Hong's breakthrough, he chose to face the taboo realm of catastrophe. It just failed. After that, no matter whether it is the top world venerable of the myriad worlds or the best of the saints outside the world, even if they get the amulet of heaven, they dare not rashly attract the taboo realm catastrophe, and they are all afraid of following in the footsteps of Yifan above. But today, the breakthrough of Aguli, the top world respecter in the Hongmeng world, once again revived the hearts of these people. Aguli succeeded. It seems that Fang Yifan's death was just an accident. I don't know if Aguli went back after breaking through. If he went back, it means that his injuries are not serious. The injuries he suffered during the tribulation are definitely not as serious as Lei Hong's original. All of a sudden, the powerhouses of the Great World Venerable Forces in the Upper Three Realms went to the Adagang tribe in the Grand Mist Realm, which was also one of the Great World Venerable Forces in the Grand Mist Realm. Aguli is the only Jesuin of the Adagang tribe. However, after Lei Hong broke through last time, Aguli left the Adagang tribe and hid from Lei Hong, fearing that Lei Hong would catch up and strangle him. Now, most of the people from the major world venerable forces going to the Adagang tribe are half-step Jesuin, and few Jesuin go out in person. They are still avoiding Lei Hong. Master Aguli is back? When they came to the Adagang tribe, they quickly confirmed one thing. Aguli is back. Although Aguli didn't show up and they were received by other members of the Adagang tribe, since Aguli came back, even if he was still injured, it must not be serious. Can we gradually become Master Aguli? That's right, my uncle is also preparing to face the taboo realm of catastrophe recently. Let me come to Master Aguli to learn from him on his behalf. The great powers of the upper three worlds came to ask Aguli how he survived the taboo realm of catastrophe. For this reason, there are half-step Jesuin from the 18 realms in China. Even Xiao Mubai personally came over to Nishan realm. With Xiao Mubai's appearance, Jesun's aura did not restrain himself, and soon attracted everyone's attention. Isn't this the Lord Xiao Mubai from the God-defying realm? In the crowd, someone soon recognized Xiao Mubai. The previous Nishan realm was just a mediocre realm among the 18 realms, and it didn't attract much attention. But ever since the people from the Nishan realm took the lead in overcoming the taboo realm, they suddenly made the Nishan realm famous, making people afraid to underestimate this middle-level realm. Lord Xiao, you broke through? I didn't expect World Master Xiao to break through. It's amazing. It's amazing. After breaking through, Xiao Mubai welcomed many people's initiative to congratulate him. Some people can't help but think, the Jesun from the God-defying realm suddenly appeared. Wouldn't he be afraid that the one from the Mingguang realm would attack him and kill him? That one, I'm afraid he hates the God-defying realm so much now. And at the same time when many people came up with similar thoughts. Boom! Suddenly, an earth-shattering loud noise came out of nowhere. Immediately, I saw a terrifying force tearing apart the space, like a meteor hammer whistling from a distance, aiming at Xiao Mubai. Chapter 46-24. The terrifying power made everyone present tremble. Even several world venerables including Xiao Mubai, all of them changed their expressions at this time, and they all felt the fear of the person who made the shot, definitely far surpassing the world venerable. It's Lei Hong. When the terrifying force was getting closer, someone saw the tall figure rushing after that force, recognized the person who came, and exclaimed. At this moment, everyone felt their scalps go numb. A moment ago, they were still thinking that Xiao Mubai, as the lord of the Nishan realm, had just stepped into the realm venerable realm and ran out. Aren't you afraid of being targeted by Lei Hong from the Mingguang realm? After all, the last time Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm went to Mingguang realm to kill the two sects behind Lei Hong, and one of them was Jesun. Lei Hong is notoriously a person who will take revenge. Duan Lingshan's actions undoubtedly pushed the entire God-defying realm to the opposite of Lei Hong. As long as there is a chance, Lei Hong will never let the people of the God-defying realm go. Lei Hong might not be interested in killing the general powerhouses in the Nishan realm if they have nothing to do with Duan Lingtian, the world lord of the reversible God realm and a newly promoted world venerable. It's okay if Lei Hong doesn't know. If he knows, He will definitely not easily let the other party walk out of the reversible god realm. And indeed it is. Xiao Mubai just came outside the Ada Gang tribe of the Hongmeng Jesuan faction where Aguli was, and was intercepted and killed by Lei Hong before he could enter it. Region. An indifferent voice resounded in all directions, and suddenly reached everyone's ears. Then, when everyone came back to their senses, they saw a purple figure coming out from the dark place, and they shot like lightning, blocking Lei Hong's attack on Xiao Mubai. Crash! Lei Hong's offensive, meeting the opponent's strength, did not make any big movements, but stopped halfway, quickly lost and even disappeared. The law of time. Many people exhaled in a low voice, and it could be seen that the young man in purple who made the move behind him was using the law of law, which was the law of time. It's Duan Lingtian from the god-defying realm. Someone recognized Duan Lingtian. Isn't Duan Lingtian good at the law of space? This is his clone of the law of time. I really didn't expect that he also comprehended the law of time to the realm of small perfection. Someone who knew Duan Lingtian better couldn't help but exclaim in a tone of astonishment. It was Duan Lingtian's law of time clone who suddenly appeared at this time. Even if it is the avatar of the law of time, no one can see that it is just an avatar of the law if it is not shot, if it is not probed by people in the same realm with divine sense. Duan Lingtian stood in the void with a tall and straight figure, looking sternly at Lei Hong who had come close and was confronted by him, who had been defeated by him. Lei Hong, you are really careful, and only one law avatar came. Duan Lingtian smiled contemptuously. If you only have one law avatar, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep the world lord of the god-defying realm today. Hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Lei Hong's law avatar sneered coldly. Duan Lingtian, I didn't expect that you still have the habit of guarding the weak in the god-defying world. Isn't it embarrassing for a dignified 7th-level Xian to protect the Tao for a newcomer? Lei Hong's eyes were full of contempt, as if he looked down on Duan Lingtian. It would be shameful if you, Lei Hong, killed me, the lord of the god-defying realm. Duan Lingtian sneered, and then struck like thunder, fighting with Lei Hong. Although, with the strength of Duan Lingtian's law clone, it is not difficult to destroy Lei Hong's law clone, but he has no intention of doing that. It's just a clone of the law, so what if it's destroyed? It doesn't affect Lei Hong's deity at all. At most, it will take some more time to reshape such a rule clone. Lei Hong's avatar of this law, the law mastered, is also the law of the small perfection realm. In the case that Duan Lingtian deliberately hid the way of infinity and the way of control, it was a tie with Lei Hong for a short time. Boom! Rumble! The confrontation between the two seems to be understated, but every time they make a move, the void shakes and the space collapses. Except for a few Jiazun present, everyone retreats to the distance one after another, fearing that they will be affected. Of course, Lei Hong only drew with Duan Lingtian in a short period of time. Although they are also the law avatars of the small perfection realm, and the 4 ways of heaven and earth are also at the 7th level, but Duan Lingtian's time law is one of the 4 supreme laws after all. Soon, after 100 moves, he faintly gained the upper hand. At this time, the gate of the Ada Gang tribe seemed to have been turned upside down and devastated, and the buildings of the Ada Gang tribe that were closer were also completely destroyed by the aftermath of the force. Suddenly, without any warning from the audience, Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong quickly separated and faced each other again. This scene also made everyone stunned. Why did you stop? Duan Lingtian, with the advantage of the law of time, has already begun to gain the upper hand. However, soon, several Jesuan, including Xiao Mubai, turned their heads and looked at the depths of the Ada Gang tribe. There was a figure walking towards the sky unhurriedly. Every step he took, the void was shaken, and his spiritual consciousness gradually spread, and soon Xiao Mubai and others felt great pressure. Extreme 7th level. It's Aguli from the Ada Gang tribe. Chapter 46:26. What Duan Lingtian said was not intended to flatter the other party, but to tell the truth. He saw that the Aguli in front of him was not a clone of the law, but the deity. To be precise, it was Aguli who took the initiative to protect the Adagang tribe just now. Although he concealed it, the power of the law faintly mobilized was still detected by the Jingshi Shinshui of the small world in his body. After confirming that Lei Hong's deity is not there, after destroying Lei Hong's law clone, his deity also came out from behind the space barrier, hiding in the dark and looking at this place. Water system law. The world-cleaning water of the small world in his body is keenly aware of the laws of the water system. In addition, he has long heard that Aguli, the top world master in the Hongmeng world, is good at the laws of the water system. From this, it is not difficult to judge that the other party is the deity. The deity showed up and obviously had no injuries. It can be seen that he passed through the taboo realm with great ease. Even if he was injured, he healed when he broke through. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Aguli secretly sucked in a breath of air, and naturally heard the hidden meaning in Duan Lingshan's words. This genius and strong man from the god-defying realm was really extraordinary, and he discovered that he came from the deity. He has suppressed the laws of the water system that resonated with his power in the world as much as possible. Taking a deep breath, Aguli smiled and said, "My past strength, I didn't deliberately hide it. It is indeed comparable to Lei Hong. It's just that before facing the taboo realm and the catastrophe this time, I have taken my achievements in other laws one step further." As soon as Aguli said this, Duan Lingtian suddenly realized that it was exactly as he thought. The world master of the thousand worlds could rely on the other laws to help each other, so that the taboo realm of catastrophe would no longer be difficult. Of course, the most important thing is the help of the 3 heavenly talismans. After all, there used to be an incomparably monstrous Jesuin in the 10,000 realms who comprehended 2 or 3 laws at the same time and reached the state of Dzogchen, but still died in the taboo state. The others present, including Xiao Mubai, heard the exchange between Duan Lingtian and Aguli, and felt awe-inspiring for a moment. From Lord Duan Lingshan's words, Lord Aguli is the deity, and he didn't suffer any injuries. Master Aguli is ready to make the rest of the laws go one step further, and successfully overcome the tribulation with the powerful avatar of the laws. In comparison, Lei Hong and Fang Yifan are taking risks in crossing the catastrophe. Lei Hong narrowly escaped death and succeeded, but Fang Yifan died. I think that although this lord has said it lightly, the actual situation is definitely not the case. Then, Duan Lingtian told about the fact that Nishan Realm also has 9 mysterious places, and also talked about his master Feng Qingyang's feelings of fighting against the gatekeeper inside. The question of strength seems to be in the 8th level of Xian. After hearing Feng Qingyang's judgment from Duan Lingtian, Aguli couldn't help but gasp. He didn't expect that things would be completely different from what he guessed. If that's the case, why does Tiandao still say that we are the first few to step into the 7th level existence after the history is cut off? Aguli was puzzled, very puzzled. What if the other party existed before the historical partition? Duan Lingtian asked back. As soon as these words came out, Aguli's complexion changed. If this is the case, everything can be explained. Later, Aguli also learned about Duan Lingshan's attitude towards the mysterious place from Duan Lingtian. As long as it didn't affect him, he ignored it and didn't bother to investigate. However, during the next chat, Duan Lingtian saw that Aguli was eager to try, and obviously wanted to explore the mysterious place. Really, after Duan Lingshan's law clone left, Aguli left the Adagang tribe immediately, entered a mysterious place shrouded in mist with this deity. This time, he took the initiative to fight the opponent. Even if you are mentally prepared, it is still inevitable to follow the trend and have an ending. Forced to retreat. Almost got hurt. So strong. Moreover, when it made a move, it didn't feel the presence of any heaven and earth. What does this mean? It means that the opponent didn't use the 4 ways of heaven and earth at all. It turned out that although he was the fifth existence announced by the Tao of Heaven, he was not the fifth strongest existence under the Tao of Heaven in this world. In this world, there are also strange beasts that have survived before the historical cutoff. However, due to certain rules, they are imprisoned in the mysterious place and cannot cross the border. Otherwise, the world will probably be in chaos. It's also fortunate that they can't come out, otherwise the world and the land outside the world, I'm afraid they would have been burned and blood flowed into rivers. Aguilar secretly thought. Not to mention the previous 10,000 realms and outer boundaries, the strongest ones were a group of world venerables and saints. Even now, a total of 5 transcendent world venerables and saints have been born in myriad worlds and outer worlds. In front of those mysterious beasts, they are still not enough to see at all. Heaving a sigh of relief, Aguilar pondered for a moment, and finally left the primordial realm. Went to God against realm. Aguilar, Duan Lingtian didn't expect that not long after his time law avatar returned to the god-defying realm, Aguilar came to him. What, brother Aguilar, have you gone to investigate that mysterious place? Duan Lingtian asked with a smile. Yes. Aguilar nodded, and then said in a deep voice, Brother Duan Lingtian, I think what you guessed may be true. At least, the 9 fog-shrouded entrances of the primordial realm should lead to the same mysterious place. I have entered all 9 entrances. After entering, the aura of heaven and earth I sense is the same, but it is completely different from the world and the land outside the world. Having said that, he paused for a moment and continued, I'm here to investigate the 9 fog-shrouded places in your god-defying realm. But I don't know if you, Brother Duan Lingtian, can lead me the way? There was a bit of expectation in Aguilar's eyes, and he wanted to confirm some things next. I have never been to those places. However, I can let someone take you there. Duan Lingtian didn't notice the slightest hostility from Aguilar, and at the same time saw that he obviously wanted to study those places further, so he immediately found the World Lord Xiao Mubai. I've seen Master Aguilar. Seeing Aguilar, Xiao Mubai saluted repeatedly. Next, I will trouble World Master Xiao. Aguilar smiled friendly. Duan Lingtian watched Aguilar leave. Half a month later, Aguilar came back with Xiao Mubai. Brother Duan Lingtian. This time, Aguilar's face was extraordinarily solemn, and at the same time he told Duan Lingtian about his discovery. I know you are not interested in those places, but I still want to tell you about my latest discovery. I first went to the 9 fog-shrouded places in the Hongmeng realm, and found that there were indeed 9 entrances. In addition, after entering the 9 entrances, the 9 strange beasts I encountered were not the same one. It means that there are 9 entrances leading to different places. It may be the entrance to a mysterious place with 9 different directions. Of course, this was just my guess at first. Until the past half-month, I investigated the 9 entrances of the god-defying realm. I find, going through the 9 entrances, the 9 strange beasts I encountered that attacked me turned out to be the 9 strange beasts that I encountered when entering the 9 entrances of the primordial realm. Having said that, he paused and then said, if the 9 entrances lead to the same place, it means that there are 9 areas in different directions corresponding to that place, and each is guarded by strange beasts. And if 9 entrances lead to 9 different places, that should be 9 mysterious places. And the 9 fog-shrouded places that exist in the major realms should be the entrances to the 9 mysterious places. Of course, I prefer to have only one mysterious place, rather than 9 places. It's the same as what I told you half a month ago. The aura of heaven and earth aura I sensed inside is almost the same, although Duan Lingtian really has no interest in that mysterious place, but still couldn't help being a little surprised. There are 9 entrances, and the strange beasts encountered after entering are not the same? Wouldn't it be that there are 9 strange beasts that are suspected to be above the 8th level of Xian? After confirming this point from Aguilar, Duan Lingtian frowned. He looked through the lifelong memory left by the old man Wukong again, but found that he had not touched the mysterious land in his memory. Even, the old man Wukong has never encountered any dangerous fog-shrouded land, and has never appeared. This is a bit strange. Old Man Wukong existed before the historical partition, and according to my guess, the mysterious land was also left before the history was cut off, so the powerful beasts in it were not specially announced by the text of Heavenly Tao. But according to the memory of the Old Man Wukong, that mysterious place did not exist before the history cut off. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian shook his head and thought to himself, I'm afraid. Only the Tao of Heaven knows what's going on. However, seeing that Aguli left the Nishan realm again and was about to go to the feather transformation realm, he had to sigh in his heart for Agulus hungry for knowledge. I hope this guy's exploration of that mysterious place won't cause any trouble. Shouldn't it be? After all, he was forced out every time, and the strange beast inside can't come out every time. According to his calculations and estimates, it is enough to deal with any of the 9 strange beasts. Brother Aguli, I have no interest in that place for now. Duan Lingtian shook his head and declined Aguli. From Agulus' extremely expectant eyes, it is not difficult for him to see Agulus' curiosity and longing for the mysterious place, but he is really not interested in the mysterious place for the time being. Who knows if there is a more terrifying existence in it? The 9 alien beasts corresponding to the 9 entrances, with his current strength, even if he fights alone, he is not afraid. But what about the back? The gatekeepers are already so strong, so if it is said later that there is no stronger existence, it seems to be unreasonable, right? It is precisely because of this that he has no interest in the mysterious place that the 9 entrances lead to for the time being, and he is only thinking about digesting the memory of Old Man Wukong first, and it will not be too late to break into it when he has the strength of Old Man Wukong's peak period before his life. Brother Duan Lingtian. Aguli really wanted to go in and find out, so he continued to persuade Duan Lingtian. What's more, seeing Duan Lingtian refuse again, he gritted his teeth and promised Duan Lingtian a lot of benefits. Although it is not very useful to Duan Lingtian, it is still of great use to Duan Lingshan's family and friends. However, the current Duan Lingtian does not lack these things for the time being. If you really want to lack it, you can exchange it with the forces of the great world venerables and saints by bartering. In the end, after confirming that Duan Lingtian had made up his mind, it was impossible to go to that mysterious place with him, so Aguli could only say goodbye and leave, and after leaving the god-defying realm, his face became completely gloomy. That Duan Lingtian really didn't give me face. As the existence of the 7th level Xian, I was so humbled, and he still rejected me. Snort! Although he was not very happy, Aguli did not intend to make Duan Lingtian an enemy. This time he went to Menghan because of this matter, and also confirmed Menghan's position from Menghan's mouth, because Duan Lingtian helped him enter the Tongtian Tower first, and got great benefits. He said that he stood by Duan Lingtian unconditionally, and even as long as Duan Lingtian needed it, he was more willing to join forces with Duan Lingtian to deal with Lei Hong. That is to say, among the existence of the 7th level of the world's 5 most powerful, 2 of them are on Duan Lingshan's side. Not to mention that he is alone. Even if he joins forces with Lei Hong, it will be difficult for him to compete against Duan Lingtian and the others. It seems that we can only wait. Wait until a few more Xian's 7th level existences are born, and then join hands with them to explore the mysterious place behind the 9 mysterious entrances. Chapter 46-29. Congratulations to Xue Qingzhu from the outside world, with the 6th level cultivation base of the strongest, successfully passed the taboo realm, and is expected to become the 6th strongest and 7th level strongman after the history cut off, surpassing the respected world and saints. Congratulations to Xue Qingzhu, the land outside the realm. After surviving the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 6th, strongest, and 7th level existence after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuan and saints. After 100 years, after Aguli in the Hongmeng realm successfully crossed the catastrophe and broke through, there was another existence of the 6th level of the strongest, who successfully crossed the catastrophe, broke the shackles, and stepped into the 7th level of the strongest. Moreover, he is still a strong man in the outside world. This is also the second existence in the outer worlds to be promoted to the 7th level of the strongest. The land outside the world is boiling. Ha ha! In the land outside our boundaries, there is finally a second existence who stepped into the 7th level of Xeon. Yes, there were 5 Xeons of the 7th level in the past. 4 of them were experts from the myriad realms, and only 1 was from a place outside our realm. In recent years, when those cultivators from the myriad realms talked to us about this, their nostrils were upturned, as if they were the ones who stepped into the 7th level of the Xeon. Humph! Our land outside the realm has a profound foundation, and sooner or later we will be able to surpass the 10,000 realms in terms of the number of the strongest 7th level powerhouses. Xue Qingzhu? It seems to be the 7th city lord of the 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty in the Holy Wind realm? It's her. The lord of the 7th city of the 13th city in the Western Jin dynasty has disappeared in recent years, and I almost forgot her existence. This is a monster among the rising stars. Yes. She used to be the youngest saint power recognized by our outside world. The 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty is the saint force of the Wind Sacred Realm, and it is a force with 3 saints. Many forces outside the world also exist like a ceiling. As the name suggests, the 13 cities of the Western Jin dynasty is a power that unites the 13 cities. Of course, the 13 cities are not close together, they are extremely far apart, and they are distributed throughout the customs clearance area of the 13 cities in the Western Jin dynasty, and each city has a powerful city lord. This force was originally an alliance force. However, later, under the leadership of several city lords, the 13 city lords became brothers and sisters. Moreover, the other party is also a sword cultivator. Lord, I'm not interested in competing with her, you can ask my master. Duan Lingtian replied. If he is just an ordinary 7th level powerhouse, he would be more than happy to have a visit from a powerhouse from the same realm to compete with him, because this is also an opportunity for him to learn and improve. But the problem is, now, in his eyes, competing with the other party is bullying the other party. Even in the way of swordsmanship, he has already successfully entered the 8th level after further digesting the memory of the old man Wukong. Chapter 46-31. It's worthwhile to accept him as a disciple when Xue Qingzhu, a woman and top genius in the outer boundary, became a saint at a young age. She shocked everyone. At that time, she was the youngest saint in the history of the outer boundary. Previously, those who held the record were all men. Not only did she break their records, but she was also the first woman to do so. For these reasons, she was famous in the outer boundary. Behind these achievements were Xue Qingzhu's blood, sweat, and tears. All her time was spent cultivating and learning from others to grow stronger. Day after day, year after year, her routine remained the same. In the end, her hard work paid off, and she became the youngest saint in the history of the outer boundary. Many female cultivators in the outer boundary regarded Xue Qingzhu as their idol. Among them, many of them were from the myriad world before moving to the outer boundary, like Huangfu Mengyuan, Duan Ling Tian's eldest senior sister from the Myriad Laws Academy's Inner Palace faction. Previously, when Duan Ling Tian chatted with Huangfu Mengyuan, he had heard mentioning Xue Qingzhu as well, and she even said that she wanted to be like Xue Qingzhu. At that time, Huangfu Mengyuan deliberately hid the fact that Xue Qingzhu was a woman from Duan Ling Tian, so he assumed he was a male cultivator. He thought his senior sister idolized the other party simply because the other party was extraordinarily talented. It was only later on that he realized Xue Qingzhu was a woman. Xue Qingzhu was completely focused on cultivation, so she did not have time for other matters such as marriage. As she grew stronger, quite a few people mentioned the matter of marriage to her, but she did not take them seriously. Moreover, it was difficult for her to find a man about her age who was as strong as her, let alone find one that was stronger than her. She naturally had no interest in men who were inferior to her. For this reason, she was single until now. In fact, her life was rather similar to that of Feng Qingyang. He also devoted himself to the sword Dao and to growing stronger. For that reason, he had been single. It was also due to his inexperience that he did not know how to express his feelings to Xue Qingzhu. Xue Qingzhu was also inexperienced in this regard. Even if it was obvious that Feng Qingyang liked her, she did not notice it. She only thought that Feng Qingyang treated her as a friend until Duan Ling Tian asked if she was single and recommended Feng Qingyang. After that, she recalled how friendly Feng Qingyang had been, and she could not help but blush. At the same time, Feng Qingyang was embarrassed. He did not expect Duan Ling Tian to be so straightforward. However, when he saw the expression on Xue Qingzhu's face, he looked at her innocently and shook his head. "What do you think?" Duan Ling Tian asked. Striking the iron while it was hot, he continued to goad her. "Miss Xue, don't tell me you're not confident about stopping 3 strikes from me?" Who knew if Xue Qingzhu did not mind staying in the solitary destructive heaven, or if Duan Ling Tian's provocative words were effective? In the end, she nodded and said, "All right, I agree." Chapter 46-32. Hearing Xue Qingzhu's agreement, Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed a light, and then nodded. "Since you agreed, fellow Taoist Xue, let's find a shattered small world to discuss. I will use 3 swords to determine the outcome." Then Duan Ling Tian and the others directly tore apart the space, left the Nishan realm, and randomly found a small realm that had long been destroyed in the 10,000 realms, and the power of the realm had already been drained away, and there were no more living creatures. This kind of small boundary area is barren in the eyes, like locusts passing through. Now, the place where Duan Ling Tian and the others stand in the air is just above the ruins of a city in this small world. There are countless ruins in the ruins. Judging from the architectural style, it is completely different from any architectural style he knows. It looks different. There is style. It's a pity that it has been destroyed in the long river of history and cannot see the glory of the past. What's more, at this time, the surrounding area where the 3 of Ling Tian stood in the air sometimes had strange turmoil in the space, and space cracks appeared on their own, and then slowly closed, appearing elsewhere, repeating itself again and again, which shows the weakness of the space barrier in this small world. Vulnerable. And this, in fact, is also the reason for losing the power of the boundary. The power of a realm is related to the rise and fall of a realm. Losing the power of a realm also means losing vitality, losing all aura in the realm, and the strength of any realm will fade with the passage of time, gradually decrease, or even disappear completely. In this case, the strong realm destroys the weak realm and seizes the power of its realm for its own use. Today's myriad realms, the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms, are mostly ancient realms. Under normal circumstances, the power of their realms should have disappeared in the long river of history, and even destroyed the realm. It is precisely because the powerful people in these realms are like clouds, invading the small realms everywhere, and seizing the power of the small realms to supplement themselves, they can survive for a long time. The same is true for the anti-God realm. Otherwise, the God against God realm would have disappeared in the long river of history long ago. Among the cultivators, the weak will eat the strong, and the fittest will survive. The same is true between boundaries. However, it is still the practitioners of the major realms that dominate the rise and fall of the realms. Use your sword. Xue Qingzhu opened his mouth slowly, and the ethereal and cold figure stood with his sword. His body was as straight as a sword, and bursts of fierce aura emanated from his body, as if his whole body had turned into a sword in a defensive posture at this moment, standing proudly in the sky between. At this time, Feng Qingyang had already stood in the distance to watch the battle. At the same time, the spiritual consciousness is spread out, be vigilant in all directions, and prevent someone from approaching or even sneak attacking. Of course, the main thing is to guard against Lei Hong. Once a big war breaks out in the small world, It will definitely attract the most powerful people from all the powerful worlds. Lei Hong, as the existence of the 7th level of the strongest, will also be alarmed, and may even observe closely. If it is confirmed that the opponent is his disciple Duan Lingtian, and Lei Hong might show up. At that time, all he has to do is to contain Lei Hong in the first place and prevent Lei Hong from escaping. As long as his disciple regained his composure, it would not be difficult to keep Lei Hong. As for the bet between his disciple and the woman he likes this time, he naturally knows that there is no suspense. If his disciple really wants to be serious, even just a sword is enough to defeat the other party. After all, this disciple of mine has not only stepped into the 7th level of swordsmanship, but also has extremely high attainments in the way of infinity and control. According to his estimation, they are all at least at the 6th level. These two are integrated into the way of swordsmanship, looking at the myriad worlds, and even the places outside the world. Who can be the enemy? This disciple of his really wants to strike with all his strength. Even if it is him, he doesn't think he can block his sword. Good. Facing Xue Qingzhu, who was ready and her pretty face was full of dignity, Duan Lingtian said indifferently. His face was as calm as before, and he even yawned, then raised his hand unhurriedly, and struck out with a finger sword. Call out. In an instant, a terrifying sword light that seemed inconspicuous at first, but turned into a huge sword in the sky in an instant, directly splitting the sky in this small world into two, screamed and fell towards Xue Qingzhu's place. The space there is cracked, turbulent currents abound, and even vague illusions appear, as if turning all living beings upside down. These phantoms come from Duan Lingshan's space law, refracting some scenes in the surrounding realms in the form of spatial mirror reflection. Of course, this was not intentional by Duan Lingtian. Instead, the law of space activates itself. In the face of Duan Lingshan's menacing sword, Xue Qingzhu also moved, and the same sword was slashed out. The momentum was rolling. The sword glow swept up like a hurricane, but she stood in the heart of the storm, but she remained motionless. Even her body, there has never been any turmoil in the clothes. The extremely bright sword light appeared in this small world, as if overwhelming the world, unrivaled, invincible, mighty and fierce, facing Duan Lingshan's first sword. Soon, the two sword glows collided together. Chapter 46-33. This is a good opportunity to enter the God-defying realm. That brother Duan Lingtian, the people who care about are all in the gods' plane of the gods against the gods, the land of the gods, and they are mainly concentrated in the Xia family, the land of the gods. Lei Hong's eyes were bright, and he felt that he had found a good opportunity for revenge, and he couldn't easily miss it. After all, now not only Duan Lingtian but also Feng Qingyang has left the God-defying realm. Although Feng Qingyang may not be the deity who left, Duan Lingtian must be the one who competed with Xue Qingzhu, a newly promoted 7th-level powerhouse in the outside world and outside the world. The deity is undoubtedly. If it weren't for the deity, there would be no need to compete with the other party. The place left by the gods, the Xia family. Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong became more and more excited, and at the same time calmed down a little after being excited for a while. Duan Lingtian, the deity, is outside, and the clone of the law of time must be staying in the God-defying realm, and it is likely to stay in the Xia family, the land left by the gods. His time law clone is too strong. Even if I recondense the strongest law clone, it is not the opponent of his law clone, and there is no way to do anything to the people of the Xia family. Last time, in the Hongmeng realm, his strongest law avatar was defeated by Duan Lingshan's time law avatar, which allowed him to see how powerful the law avatars of the 4 supreme laws are, so that he has been mainly studying the 4 supreme laws recently. I want to improve the law of death that I am good at. If his law of death can step into the realm of small perfection and condense the clone of the law, he will not be afraid of Duan Lingshan's clone of the law of time, because Duan Lingshan's law of time is also at the level of small perfection. We must hurry up. Let's just go for a trip. Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong made up his mind, with a look of madness flashing in his eyes. Duan Lingtian, you dare to attack the sect behind me, and even kill the Jesuin in my sect. This is completely disrespecting me. Hong put it in his eyes and rubbed my Lei Hong's face on the ground. In fact, he didn't have much affection for the sect behind him. Even if the deceased Jiazun died, he didn't feel much. He is a selfish person with weak emotions. How could he be in the life and death of others? What he cares most about is his face. When Duan Lingtian shot at the sect behind him, he was hitting him in the face. Ever since Duan Lingtian took the shot, there have been rumors everywhere in the bright light realm that Duan Lingtian doesn't take Lei Hong seriously. Even saying that even though Lei Hong and Duan Lingtian are the same as the 7th level powerhouse, he has no courage to find Duan Lingtian for revenge in the back. When he heard such words, he was so angry that he killed all those gossiping people. He, Lei Hong, would be afraid of Duan Lingtian? What a joke! If it weren't for Duan Lingshan's good relationship with Meng Han from the outer boundary, if it wasn't for Duan Lingshan's master named Feng Qingyang, if it weren't for Meng Han and Feng Qingyang being both Xian's 7th level existences, Lei Hong would never have taken revenge on Duan Lingtian. Tear. Lei Hong made a decisive decision, directly tore apart the space, and prepared to sneak into the Nishan realm, kill the Xia family, the land left by the gods, and destroy the Xia family that Duan Lingtian cared about, which made Duan Lingtian feel distressed, and even regretted the past. And at the same time as Lei Hong left, Duan Lingtian also made the 3rd sword in the sparring with Xue Qingzhu. Before cutting out this sword, he intentionally reminded Xue Qingzhu, "Fellow Taoist Xue, with the 2 swords just now, I was just testing your methods casually. This 3rd sword is my real strength. You have to deal with it with all your heart. Don't wait to lose the bet. Blame yourself for not being careful." Duan Lingtian reminded Xue Qingzhu in advance that the future teacher in front of him was not convinced. Good. Xue Qingzhu immediately became vigilant when she heard the words. Just now, because of the casual mentality that she could easily deal with the previous 2 swords, she also completely restrained herself. Her intuition told her that it was unlikely that fellow Taoist Feng would lie to her, and that fellow Taoist Duan should really be a big deal. Call out. When Duan Lingshan's 3rd sword was slashed out, the wind and cloud shook in an instant, and all the turbulence in the surrounding space was shattered, as if half of it had been turned into nothingness. Terrible power swept in all directions, as if shaking the 9 heavens and 10 earths, with an overwhelming momentum. And in the next moment, it was this earth-shattering attacking gesture, which instantly restrained its sharpness and condensed itself. The sword light that flew out seemed to have become a low profile in a blink of an eye. This sword, Duan Lingtian didn't keep it anymore, and showed the 8th level of swordsmanship. The previous 2 swords only stimulated the 7th level kendo. As for the way of control and the way of infinity, he didn't intend to use it, thinking that it would be too bullying, and now he doesn't have the need to rely on those 2 methods. Using stronger swordsmanship can make this future master, who is also a swordsman, convinced. The 8th stage. Xue Qingzhu's expression changed. She originally thought that even though Duan Lingtian had hidden a lot of strength, his swordsmanship was at most close to the 8th level of swordsmanship, but she didn't expect that Duan Lingshan's 3rd sword cut turned out to be the 8th level of swordsmanship that was completely above the 7th level. Chapter 46-34. If it was in another place, even if he found Lei Hong at the first time, Duan Lingtian would not dare to confirm whether the other party was the deity or the avatar of the law, and he would need to check with his spiritual sense or confirm after the fight. After all, the avatar of the law of the 7th level existence of Xian has reached the point where it can be compared with the deity only by looking at the outside. However, the land left by God in the Nishan realm is a part of the small world in Duan Lingshan's body, and still belongs to his small world in his body, so when Lei Hong entered his small world in his body, he not only discovered it immediately, but even it is confirmed that Lei Hong is the deity. Before he even had time to say hello to his master, Duan Lingtian disappeared in a flash, as if he had disappeared out of thin air. Because of the current situation of my master, I can't leave for the time being, and I need to protect my future teacher Xue Qingzhu, so I didn't pull my master to go with me, and I didn't dare to move Xue Qingzhu rashly, so as not to disturb her epiphany. The higher the level of cultivation, the harder it is to encounter something like epiphany. Once encountered, it can often be greatly improved. Not to mention anything else, just say that this time Xue Qingzhu faced his 8th level Kendo epiphany, and when the epiphany is over, her attainments in Kendo will probably no longer be inferior to his master as before, and it is very likely that she will equal his master, even surpass a little. Lei Hong, since you're here this time, don't leave. Duan Lingtian directly returned to the little senior sister in his body, and after a space leap, he reached the small part of the small world in his body that he assigned to serve as the land of the gods. His eyes were radiant, with killing intent. Lei Hong, in his eyes, is the #1 enemy at the moment. He must be beheaded. Otherwise there will be no small hidden danger if he stays. Although he is not afraid of the other party, he also wants to kill the other party as soon as possible. In addition, last time, Lei Hong ruined his good deeds and hindered his search for Yun Qingyan. Can be said that he has made a big hatred with him, and when Duan Lingtian noticed that Lei Hong broke into the land of the gods. Lei Hong had already arrived near the Xia family, the land left by the gods, and made a lightning strike, intending to destroy the Xia family. Boom! Lei Hong's attack was earth-shattering. His aura was like a rainbow, and his power, like the approaching doomsday, swept the world and enveloped the Xia family's residence. Inside the Xia family mansion, a large clan guard formation rose, and a translucent mask enveloped all directions. Countless purple electric snake-like thunders roamed around the translucent mask, exuding a good aura. This is also the defense of the Xia family. Means, who? What a powerful force! This power is suffocating. In the Xia family, all the high-level members of the Xia family, including the head of the family Xia Yu and the third master Xia Jie, were also alarmed by the sudden warning of the clan guard formation, and their faces changed. Not good dash. The only strongest person in the Xia family has been staying in the Xia family recently, and when he sensed the power sweeping and killing from outside, his expression changed instantly. At the same time, rumble, as the power from outside like a mountain torrent sweeping across the world enveloped and fell, the Xia family's seemingly incomparably strong family protection array fell to pieces in an instant, like a chicken and a dog vulnerable to a single blow, and it also made everyone in the Xia family feel the hearts of the people. Fear. And at this moment, call out. A sword light shot up into the sky, and then divided into thousands of sword lights in midair, roaring and sweeping around, interweaving into a huge sword net, intending to stop the terrifying power falling from the sky like a torrent of heaven and earth. It's Lord Duan Lingtian. Master Duan Lingtian has made a move. The eyes of all the high-level members of the Xia family lit up, as if they saw a savior, thinking that the Xia family must be saved if that one took action. However, only the strongest member of the Xia family, Xia Hechuan, changed his expression again and again, because he has confirmed that the person who came is the existence of the 7th level Xian, and it seems that he is not a clone of the law, because the power of the opponent's shot is too powerful. Originally, he thought that as long as Duan Lingtian was around, the Xia family would be safe. It wasn't until Duan Lingtian made a move that he realized that Duan Lingtian himself should not be in the Xia family, otherwise it would be impossible to use the Law of Time clone to make a move, and the power displayed by the Law of Time clone is obviously slightly weaker than the opponent. Boom! Rumble! Soon, the palpitating force that seemed to destroy the sky and destroy the earth swept in from outside finally landed on the sword net that soared into the sky, causing the sword net to vibrate. Its color dimmed instantly, and it was crumbling. Many sword glows that had turned into part of the sword net showed clearly visible cracks, as if they might be broken at any time. This scene also made everyone in the Xia family change their faces. How is this going? Master Duan Lingtian can't stop the other party? Master Duan Lingtian casts the Law of Time. Is this his law avatar? At this moment, everyone guessed that the coming person must be the existence of the 7th level Xian, and they even vaguely guessed the identity of the other party. One of the existences of Xian's 7th order. They have also heard about the grievances between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong, but they never think that Lei Hong dared to kill them because they are not easy to provoke, and there are 2 whole 7th level existences of Xian. Unexpectedly, Lei Hong finally came to kill him. Moreover, he came to the door when Lord Duan Lingtian himself was not around. This Lei Hong definitely knows that Lord Duan Lingshan's deity is not there. After thinking of this, everyone couldn't help but feel fear in their hearts. If Lord Duan Lingshan's deity is not there, and Lei Hong is the one who comes, they are afraid that they will die today. Duan Lingtian, your mere law avatar can't stop me. Outside, there was a disdainful voice. Today, I, Lei Hong, will destroy your legal avatar and Xia family, and let you know what will happen if you offend me, Lei Hong. In the next moment, a more powerful force swept in from the outside, just like the second wave pushing the first wave to impact and fall. It's over. The members of the Xia family were in despair. Really, region. And at this moment, the sword net that was about to be shattered in the sky suddenly extended 2 strange auras, which made the sword net seem to be strengthened in an instant. Even if Lei Hong's second wave of offensive came, it was still failed to break the sword net. Lei Hong outside was just a little puzzled, before he had time to investigate the situation. Lei Hong! A cold shout spread across the sky, and at the same time, Duan Lingshan's true self stepped out above the Xia family's residence, looking directly at Lei Hong with his cold eyes. How can it be? Lei Hong's face changed drastically. He never expected that Duan Lingtian would come back so quickly. He was not in a small realm some distance from here and outside the realm. The newly promoted 7th level powerhouse Xue Qingzhu? Thinking of his second wave of offensive just now, he almost tried his best, but he still couldn't shatter the power rising inside. What does this mean? It means that there is a deity of the strongest 7th order powerhouse in it, coupled with Duan Lingtian who came back suddenly. He couldn't help but feel his scalp tingle. At this moment, he had only one thought left. Duan Lingshan's so-called sparring with people outside is just an illusion. The real purpose is definitely to catch him. And now, the one who blocked his attack at the Xia family's residence was most likely the strong Meng Han who had been lurking in the outside world earlier in the morning. You're tuning in to the Legend of the Vagabond YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.